This is Mark, the author of The Bond Between Surfers. I know this is an unconventional approach to making a movie, but hey, surfers are the masters of the unconventional. What does it mean to be a surfer? It can be answered 25 million ways by 25 million surfers. This is my version of what it means to be a surfer. I hope you enjoy the audiobook and one day the feature-length film. Sticking with the unconventional, the audiobook is written in a screenplay format. A screenplay is not a novel. It's a set of directions for the filmmaker to tell the story on a movie screen. As you are listening to the story, transport yourself into the director's chair and visualize how you would film the scenes of the movie. This is your chance to live in the mind of a filmmaker. One of the formatting rules of a screenplay is 1 page of script equals 1 minute of film. Therefore, a screenplay that is 120 pages long is equivalent to a 2-hour movie. You do not have the luxury of describing characters and story descriptions at length. A scene can be brief because a picture tells 1,000 words. The challenge is to tell a complete story within the 120-page guideline. I also wanted to mention that in a screenplay, all dialogue is preceded by the character's name. This method actually works well for an audiobook, as there is no confusion about which character is talking. Thank you for purchasing the audiobook. This is a surfing grassroots effort. All proceeds will go to funding the film. If you believe in the story and the project, I'm asking all 25 million surfers and friends of surfers in the world to come along for the ride and help me spread the word, make it go viral, and get The Bond Between Surfers on the bestsellers list. Be a part of surf culture. Be a part of the grand experiment. Let's get this movie made! Now, on with the story. The Bond Between Surfers. Chapter 1. Becoming a Surfer. Fade in. Exterior. Any beach. Morning. 1976. A mother and her child are on the beach. They are near the shoreline. The ocean is exceptionally clear and blue with golden highlights from the sunrise. Glassy 6 to 8 foot waves are breaking one after the other. They are the only ones on the beach. Art Duran is a 10-year-old boy, trim in figure, mop-style 70s haircut, and has an easy-going demeanor. He's like a sponge, soaking up the nature around him and all the experience life has to offer. He is wearing cut-off jeans with frayed edges, which doubles as a bathing suit. Art is completely enthralled in the sandcastle he's building. Sally Duran is sitting in a lawn chair underneath the beach umbrella. She is reading a book and occasionally looks at her son with a loving gaze. He is sitting close to the water's edge. He is making his castle when the surfer approaches as a towering figure and stands next to Art. He has an unzipped beaver tail wetsuit top, which reveals his ripped surfer muscles and puka shell necklace. He is the quintessential 70s surfer with sun-bleached mid-length hair and a dark tan. He has a 1970s light blue single-fin surfboard with a picture of a large wave airbrushed on the deck. He sets the surfboard in the sand next to Art. Art stops building his sandcastle and watches with curiosity as the surfer waxes his board. The surfer then stares out into the ocean as he would stare into the eyes of a girl he has fallen in love with. He picks up the surfboard and gives Art a smile and a nod. The surfer enters the water. He picks up speed, vaults horizontally belly first onto his board, and glides on the water. He effortlessly begins to paddle out to the waves. He is at peace with nature and the universe. Through his actions, he pulls Art into his world, the surfing world. The surfer is paddling out towards the lineup. The 6 to 8 foot waves in front of him are pitching out perfectly with an offshore spray. As the white water approaches, he sinks himself and the board underwater. As the turbulence of the wave passes over him, he ascends back to the surface. With one long whipping motion from his head, he flicks his hair back, lets out a relaxing breath of air, and continues paddling. Art is sitting on the beach in front of his sandcastle. He is mesmerized by the surfer. Watching intently, Art never takes his eyes off of him. The surfer drops into an 8-foot wave, does a long drawn-out bottom turn, and maneuvers his board to the middle of the wave. He moves slightly to the center of the surfboard. The surfboard picks up speed as he glides down the middle of the face. He heads for the trough, does another bottom turn, heads straight up the wave, and does an off the lip. The off the lip sends a rooster tail spray. The wave begins to pitch out, and he slows his board down. He sets up for the tube ride as the water pitches over him. He is completely covered by the wave. All of a sudden, he comes shooting out of the tube like a cannonball. The surfer exits the wave and paddles back out. Sally lifts her head from out of the book. She glances over to Art, who is staring out into the ocean. She looks towards the ocean to see what has captivated Art's attention so deeply. She sees the surfer trimming down another wave. Sally looks back at Art and realizes that's what he is staring at. The surfer is sitting on his board in the ocean. He is looking at a line of pelicans gliding by with wings spread wide. The pelicans are surfing the air currents caused by the offshore spray of the waves. The surfer senses a wave approaching and looks at the oncoming set. With an ecstatic look, he glances back up at the pelicans one last time, then back down to his surfboard. He drops in and surfs the wave with grace and elegance. As time passes, the surfer catches a final wave, rides it to perfection, and paddles to shore. He walks past a washed-away sandcastle, stops, and looks at Art. Art looks up at him in awe. The surfer smiles at Art and gives him another nod. This is the seminal moment when Art knows he wants to be a surfer. Chapter 2. First Surfboard. Exterior, parking lot, day. A Pontiac Bonneville pulls up to a gravel parking lot. In front of the parking lot is a building with bleached wood siding. Attached to the building is a circular logo that displays the Barbados flag's trident, yellow, and blue colors. The word Bajan is above the trident, and surfboards is below the trident. There are surfboards displayed in the window showing the Bajan Surfboards logo. Art hurriedly jumps out of the car, and Sally follows. Sally: I don't understand. Why do you want to come here? Art: Come on, Mom! I gotta show you something! Interior, surfboards, day. Sally and Art enter the surf shop. Joe Montgomery is the owner of the surf shop. Joe is one of the many proud black surfers who originates from the island of Barbados. He is in his 50s with short hair and a gray beard. He is wearing a t-shirt with the Bajan Surfboards logo on it, shorts, and a pair of leather flip-flops. Joe is the most respected surfer in the area. He is a wise sage who has all the answers to the meaning of life. He is sitting on a stool behind the glass counter, which contains surfing items. Joe is reading a surfer magazine. He looks up at Sally and Art. Joe: Welcome to Bajan Surfboards. What's the word? Art, puzzled, looks at Joe and says nothing. Joe: How are you doing? What's happening? Art: Oh, I'm good. Just came in to look at the surfboards. Joe, with a fatherly glance, looks at Art as if he's talking to his own son. Joe: Weren't you in here the other day with your sister? Art: Yeah, I really want to get a surfboard. Sally looks at Art a bit surprised. With a sheepish, pleading glance, Art looks up at his mom and smiles. Art: All I want's a surfboard. I've got some money saved up. I'll work the rest off around the house. Sally: I don't know. Art: Just look at the one I picked out, please. Art, Sally, and Joe head to the back of the shop where about 25 Bajan surfboards are hanging and leaning against the walls in a rack. There are numerous photos of surfers pasted all over the walls. Art pulls out a shiny new single-fin surfboard. The price says $235. Sally, $235? Joe looks at Sally, then at Art. Joe, have you ever surfed before? Art, no. Joe, well, this is the top-of-the-line high-performance surfboard. It's made for the most experienced surfers only. As Joe glances at Sally. Art, oh. Joe takes Art over to the used board section. There are a bunch of old, dinged, discolored, and abused boards. Joe pulls out a single fin from the racks. The foam is brown, and there are quite a few dings on it. Joe, this is what you need. It's more stable. You'll be able to learn faster on this board. And once you get your basics down, then come see me and get a new board. Art, yeah, but look how beat up it is. Sally, honey, it doesn't look all that bad. Art, looking bummed out, starts checking out the other beat-up used boards. He pulls a few of them out of the rack, but nothing interests him. Joe, who has taken a liking to Art, sizes up the situation. Joe stands there and thinks quietly for a second. Joe, wait a minute. I've got just the board for you. Joe walks off screen into the back of his office. Sally and Art wait next to the surfboards. To pass the time, Art starts looking at the pictures on the wall. Picture number 1. Caption reads, 1975 Bajan Surf Team. It's a team photo. There are 30-plus large and small trophies laid out in front of a group of surfers. The picture looks like you just came back from a fishing trip. The entire catch is laid out in front of the surf team, but instead of fish, they are trophies. Picture number 2, a series of old yellow newspaper clippings and ripped-out pages of magazines. They are younger pictures of Joe and other black surfers when he lived in Barbados. These pictures establish Joe's credibility and history as a surfer. Each picture has a caption on them such as, Joe Montgomery, Barbados National Champ. Barbados first surfing laureate, Joe Montgomery. Joe Montgomery takes the surfing world by storm. The pride of Barbados, Joe Montgomery. As Art is reading the clippings, Joe comes on screen with a light blue single-fin surfboard. Joe, this is one of my team riders. He just traded it in on a new board. Joe sets the tail of the surfboard down on the carpet and holds the nose with his hand. The bottom of the board has the words Bajan Surf Team on it. Art glances back at the pictures on the wall, then at Joe. Art, I'm going to be on the surf team one day. Joe, that's the spirit. Joe spins the board around so the deck is facing Art. All of a sudden, Art's eyes light up as he recognizes the picture of the large wave airbrushed on the light blue deck. He realizes this is the same board the surfer was riding on the beach the other day. Joe, well, what do you think? Art, you'll sell me this one? Joe, sure, I'll even give you a leash and some wax with it. Sally, how much do you want for it? Joe, how about $75? Sally glances at Art's overjoyed face and grins. Sally, how much money do you have? Art, I've got $11.53. Sally, tell you what, if you help your dad with the yard work for the rest of the summer, we'll call it even. Art, I will, I promise. Thanks, Mom. Sally, Art, and Joe walk up to the counter. Art hands Sally a bunch of crumpled up bills and a handful of change. She takes the money and combines it with hers. She then gives the money to Joe. Joe hands Art 2 bars of wax and a bungee leash. Joe, you're going to make a great surfer. Art enthusiastically checks out his new surfboard. For a surfer, getting your first surfboard is a special, defining, once-in-a-lifetime moment. Joe looks at Art, grins, and shakes his head. Joe walks around the counter to the t-shirt rack. He pulls out a small t-shirt with the Bajan Surfboards logo on it. He tosses it on Art, and the t-shirt drapes his head. Art grabs it and looks at it. Joe, we have a Stokes Surfer special today. All Stokes surfers get a free t-shirt. Art, stoked? Joe, you know, happy, ecstatic, thrilled, stoked. Art, thanks, Mr. Joe, Montgomery, but everyone calls me Joe. Art, well, I'm Art, and I don't think there's anyone more stoked than me right now. Art picks up the surfboard, bungee leash, and wax. Since the board is much bigger than him, he struggles to carry it out the door. As he is walking towards the door, he drops the bars of wax from his hand, one at a time. He then drops the t-shirt. He is unable to pick them up due to the bulkiness of the surfboard. Sally picks them up behind him. Finally, the leash is the last item to drop, and he is left just carrying the surfboard out the door. Chapter 3, Best Friends. Exterior beach day. A makeshift picnic table sits on the sand in front of the surf break. A few surfers whose ages range from 12 to 20 are hanging out on the picnic table looking at the 2 to 3 foot surf rolling in. All the surfers look and dress as if they have walked out of a 1976 Surfer magazine. Art and a few other surfers are in the water. Exterior ocean day. Art is awkwardly sitting on his surfboard. A 3-foot wave nears. Art lays on his board with his nose sticking up in the air and paddles to catch the wave. It is obvious he is still learning. The wave catches Art, who is in the wrong position, and hurls him over the falls in a major wipeout. Art, whoa! Ah! Art disappears underneath the water. Then his head pops up out of the water as he gasps for air. Just as he grabs a breath, another wave pummels him. Again, he disappears and reappears, gasping for air. Once out of the impact zone, he regains his composure, clumsily gets back on his surfboard, and paddles back out. Ledge Majors paddles by Art to give him some encouragement and pointers. Ledge, a fashion designer, is the androgynous alter ego of Craig Parker, in a similar way that Ziggy Stardust is the androgynous alter ego of David Bowie. Ledge's persona and outfits are one of a very stylish and sleek surfer look, blended together with the glam rock style of the 70s. Ledge is 18 years old and a heroic figure that has the ability to soothe souls and always comes to the rescue of the surfing crew. Everyone loves, respects, and accepts Ledge just as Ledge is. Ledge, grade A wipeout. The judges give you a 9.25 on that one. It would have been a 10, but when you came up for air, there wasn't enough water coming out of your nose. Art, thanks, Ledge. I'll try harder next time. Ledge, good man. Look, when you're paddling, you need to have your body further up on the board so the nose doesn't stick out as much. That'll make the board more streamlined in the water. Art, oh, okay. Ledge, also, keep your legs together. They're too spread out. It's slowing you down. Put them together like this. Ledge shows him the correct form, and Art tries to copy it. Ledge, it's a little weird at first, but you'll get the hang of it. Have fun paddling through the whitewater. Ledge paddles back out to the lineup, leaving Art behind. As a wave is about to break in front of Ledge, Ledge looks back at Art. Remember, hold on to your board no matter what. Ledge easily duck dives the wave. Art, on the other hand, comes up to the surface, upside down, holding onto his board and gasping for air. In the foreground, Ledge looks back at Art. Ledge, stokin'! Art smiles and is proud that he is still holding onto his surfboard. Cut 2. Art is back out at the lineup when he notices Via Franco sitting on her yellow surfboard. Via is the same age as Art, 10 years old. She is from South America. Via has that magical, outgoing personality that makes anyone instantly like her and happily follow her to the ends of the earth. Everyone always wants to be around Via, and she is the life of the party. Trying to act cool, Art looks at Via with trepidation. He then sees a wave off in the distance and starts paddling for it. He drops down the face of the wave as if he's riding a sled on his stomach. When he gets to the bottom of the wave, he stands up in an uncoordinated fashion. Art rides the wave with little control, then falls off. Art, you! That was rad! What a wave! Via tentatively catches the next wave. She does a carbon copy of the ride Art just had. Art watches her ride the wave as Via clumsily falls off to where Art is floating. Both of them, stoked on their rides, look at each other. Art, kind of looks like we're in the same boat, huh? Via, more like a sinking ship. Art, yeah, I got the wipeouts wired. Via, well, as my big brother says, be the best at whatever you do, so you can be the wipeout king and I'll be the underwater breath holder champ. Art, yeah, champions we'll be. Art and Via look at each other and have become instant friends. They get on their boards and paddle back out to the lineup. A wave approaches and pummels both of them. They come up to the surface, upside down, holding their boards and gasping for air. They look at each other and start laughing. Eduardo Franco is Via's 14-year-old brother. He paddles by Art and Via. Eduardo, looking good! Eduardo, in a friendly manner, splashes some water on Via and paddles off. Via, thanks, Eduardo. Via proudly looks at Art. Via, that's my big brother. Art and Via get back on their boards and proceed to paddle out to the lineup. Cut 2. Art, so what's your name? Vianney, but my friends call me Via. What's yours? My name is Art. Hey, are you here for the day? Via, no, I just moved here from the Galapagos Islands in Ecuador. Art, Galapagos Islands? How the heck did you end up here? Via, both of my parents are oceanographers. They measure the effects of changing ocean temperatures on coral reefs. Art, whoa. Via, their research is expanding to this part of the world, and now they work here at the university. Art, that's so rad. Via, rad? Art, radical! Amazing! You're just like Jacques Cousteau. Art stops talking and hurriedly turns around as the wave begins to break and takes off on it. He goes over the falls once again. Art comes up and takes a breath of air. In the foreground, Via is laughing. She looks at Art and raises her arms. Via, champions will be! Art smiles and begins to laugh. Chapter 4. Groms will rule the world. Exterior street day. A close-up of cards and the spokes of a spinning bicycle wheel are making loud snapping noises. Pan out to Art and Via in a hotly competitive race. Attached to each bike are their surfboards horizontally strapped into homemade surf racks. Art is in the lead, with Via closing in fast behind him. Joe is sitting outside of Bajan Surfboards reading a surfer magazine when he hears the clicking and clacking noises of the bikes. He looks up to see Art and Via rounding the corner, pedaling as fast as they can. Art sees Joe and waves, which slows him down. It's as if Art has completely forgotten about the race. Art, you, Joe! Via, with a determination to win, seizes the moment to pass Art. Watching and understanding what is unfolding, Joe signals to Art to pedal faster. Art smiles at Joe one last time and begins to accelerate, but his competitive drive is lost. They arrive at the beach, and Via is the victor. Via, yeah, I beat you by a mile. It wasn't even close. Art becomes distracted as he looks at a nearby bush. He pedals closer to see a large caterpillar on a leaf. He picks it up and lets it crawl on his hand. Via, my abuelita can pedal faster than you. Via is still boasting about her win when she realizes that Art is oblivious to what she is saying. Via rolls her eyes, shakes her head, and puts her arms up in the air. She gives up knowing that Art's attention is now consumed by the caterpillar and the victory celebration has become meaningless and hopeless. Cut 2. Exterior, beach, day. Art and Via are walking their bikes in the sand. In the foreground is the makeshift picnic table with a bunch of surfers sitting and standing around it. Surfboards are lying all over the place. Ledge and 5 younger surfers, male and female, whose ages range from 10 to 15, are hanging out. Tuna is also there. He is 20 years old, tall, full of muscles, and ripped like a tuna. Tuna is like a big older brother that picks on you because you're much smaller, but at the same time, he would always protect you in a bad situation. Everyone likes Tuna. He defends the close-knit surf crew from the dangers of the outside world. All the surfers are in bathing suits, and some still have t-shirts on. They are all watching the 6-foot waves breaking in front of them. Art and Via methodically take their boards out of the bicycle racks and lean the bikes on the picnic table. Art looks at Ledge. Ledge is wearing a bikini-type top with curved shoulder pads and multicolored swim trunks. Art, Ledge, totally digging the outfit. Ledge, yeah, this is one of my latest designs. It's called If Ziggy Stardust Was a Surfer. Art, nice. Ledge, I can't believe you two are just getting here. The waves are cooking. You've missed the morning sesh. Via, that's what you think. We dawn patrolled it. Art, yeah, we were surfing before the sun was up. This is our second session of the day. Via, yeah, Art was sleeping in. I made it here 15 minutes before he did. Art, oh yeah? We'll see who's the earliest tomorrow, kook. Note, the competition banter to see who can get to the beach the earliest is a reoccurring theme throughout the movie. Tuna teases Art and Via in a disgusted yet jokingly manner. Tuna, what a bunch of grommets. Tuna then looks at the rest of the younger surfers. Tuna, in fact, you're all a bunch of grommets. 15-year-old surfer, hey, Tuna, watch who you're calling a grommet. I ain't no grommet. Ledge, you can be 15 and still be a grommet. It's more a state of mind than how old you are. Tuna, you're a grommet till we say so. That goes for all you little knuckleheads. 15-year-old surfer, who are you calling a knucklehead? Tuna, you little grommet. Via, hey, I think there's enough grommets here to take you, Tuna. Tuna smiles with bravado and confidence. Tuna, bring it on. I'll smush all of you like sand crabs and feed you to the sharks. Via, with a grin of a leader, looks at Art and the other 5 younger surfers. Art and the 5 younger surfers all look at Via and start grinning. Via, let's get 'em! Via, Art, and the 5 younger surfers all jump on Tuna at once. They are laughing and giggling as they manage to take Tuna face down in the sand. They are throwing harmless little grommet punches wherever they can, in the legs, arms, backs, and ribs. Tuna, is this all you've got? Art and Via get a grip of his head. They start mashing Tuna's face in the sand. This makes Tuna mad, and he loses his temper. Ledge can be seen in the foreground, laughing uncontrollably as Tuna gets clobbered by all the grommets. There is a 10-year-old boy with thick Coke bottle glasses on his face. During the brawl, his glasses get accidentally knocked off his head. In slow motion, you can see a close-up of the glasses tumbling through the air. The boy instinctively reaches for them and misses. Tuna uses the opportunity to throw the boy off his body. In order to avoid the wrath of Tuna, all the groms panic, instantly jump off him, and scatter like cockroaches about to be stepped on. This leaves the boy alone in the sand, searching for his glasses. Tuna has sand all over his face and furiously gets up. He sees the boy and picks him up. Everyone is laughing and giving catcalls. Via, Groms will rule the world. Grommet number 1, yeah, beat it, Tuna, before we stick you in a can. Tuna tosses the boy in the sand, grinds his face in it, picks him up, and throws him in the water. The boy, bummed out and having a hard time seeing, stumbles out of the water. The boy's point of view, blurred vision. A set of blurred eyeglasses come into the point of view of the boy. As the blurred eyeglasses get closer, the screen comes back into focus, as if the glasses are being put back on the boy's face to see again. The boy sees Ledge putting on his glasses. Ledge, as if in a coronation ceremony for knights, proudly addresses the boy. Ledge, for your valiant efforts to rid the world of de-evolution, your name shall now be Devo. Ledge knights the boy with hand motions. Ledge, stand tall, Spud Boy. This makes the boy proud. From now on, the boy is known as Devo. At the picnic table, all the grommets are celebrating their brief victory over tuna. Moments later, a surfer about 50 years old walks by the picnic table. He is carrying an old beat-up longboard from the 60s underneath his arm. Art, I didn't know people from the old folks' home surfed. All the grommets laugh amongst themselves. The older surfer turns his head around, establishes eye contact with Art, and smiles. He turns his head back around and continues walking to the beach. Art, realizing what he said was wrong, stops laughing and stares at the older surfer as he walks to the water. The other surfers, on the other hand, are still cutting up. Grommet number 2. I hope he doesn't lose his false teeth when he goes over the falls. Art, with an irritated look, nudges grommet number 2. Art, come on, man, let's go surfing. A Passage of Time. Year, 1977. 7.4 Ipa Stinger, single fin, yellow with red flames on the deck. Year, 1978. 7.6 Lightning Bolt, single fin, pintail, all red with a yellow lightning bolt. Year, 1979. 8.6 Yater Spoon, from the movie Apocalypse Now. Single fin nose rider, military pea green with the U.S. 1st Cavalry Air Mobile logo on the deck. Year, 1980. 6.2 MR Superman logo, twin fin, single wing swallowtail, red deck with one rail blue and one rail green. Year, 1981. 5.8 McCoy Laser Zap Phase 1. Single fin, teardrop design, black and white checkers in V formation with red and blue deck. Fade 2. The current year is 1982, and we pick up where we left off in the story. This is an animated scene. Art is now 16 years old and is having an epic surfing dream. It is set in the future and is every surfer's fantasy dream come true. Interior, bedroom, morning. Art is sleeping in his animated, futuristic 16-year-old surfer-style bedroom. His room is adorned with all sorts of surfing posters, surfboards, etc. Art wakes up bleary-eyed and looks at his 6-inch wide wristband console on his left forearm. He gets very excited, jumps out of bed, puts on his bathing suit and a t-shirt with the futuristic Bajan Surfboards logo on it. He grabs his rocket-propelled surfboard with mini jet engines attached to each side of the tail of the surfboard and hurriedly leaves his bedroom. Exterior, house driveway, morning. Art is strapping his rocket-propelled surfboard on the roof racks of a sleek-looking personal spaceship the size of a car. Cut 2. Art is in the cockpit programming the coordinates on a touchscreen. Close-up, the words Planet Bluetooth appear on the screen. Then the words Distance 27 light years appears on the screen. Cut 2. Art's spaceship, with the surfboard attached to the roof racks, hovers, turns around, and blasts off. As Art is looking into the darkness of space, he starts talking to the cockpit computer. Art, warp speed 44. Computer voice, understood. Music selection? Art. Queen, Flash Gordon, OST, battle theme. Computer voice. Understood. Surround sound speakers mechanically rise out of the dashboard of the spaceship. Art, with an adventurous smile, puts on some cool sunglasses and leans back in the seat. Art's right hand is on the throttle and slams it forward 12 inches. Wham! The spaceship goes into hyperspace as the wildly action-packed music begins to blast out of the speakers. Cut 2. Art's point of view, space. A dot appears in the middle of the blackness of space. As the dot gets larger and larger, it reveals a giant, completely blue ocean planet. As Art's spaceship gets closer, one tiny brown dot appears in the blue ocean. The spaceship gets even closer to reveal a single island surrounded by the vastness of the ocean. It's the only landmass on the entire planet. As the spaceship gets closer, the island gets larger, revealing a perfect right point break wave peeling on the whole left-hand side of the island. The waves are peeling for over 100 miles. Art's rocket touches down on the island next to a solitary alien-type palm tree. Art is checking out the waves. The waves are perfection. It's the type of wave every high school surfer would draw in their notebooks. Art takes off his rocket-propelled surfboard from the spaceship, puts it in the sand, and waxes the deck. Cut 2. Exterior ocean day. A close-up of Art paddling to catch a wave. He catches the wave and starts to drop in. He presses a button on the 6-inch wristband console. The screen on the console says, "Accelerate." The rocket boosters on the surfboard ignite, and the jet propels him down the wave. The camera pans out to a wide-angle shot to reveal a 300-foot wave. Art now becomes just a tiny speck as he rockets down to the bottom. Art is doing a sweeping bottom turn, heads back up, and does an off the lip which results in a 100-foot rooster tail spray. Art does a cutback and heads back to the breaking wave. He makes it to the top and floats down the wave curtain as it is pitching out. He makes a stylish 45-degree erect bottom turn and heads up the wave. Art presses a button on the wrist console. The console screen says, "Liftoff." The camera pans out to see Art as a tiny speck rocketing up the wave. He blasts out of the top in a 200-foot aerial. He comes back down into the wave and heads to the bottom. Art presses another button on the wrist console that reads, "Stall." He puts his right hand in the face of the wave as a 300-foot cavernous tube surrounds him. He keeps getting deeper and deeper in the tube, 10 feet deep, 25 feet deep, 50 feet deep, 100 feet deep. All of a sudden, a cameraman pops out of the face of the wave and snaps a picture of his ride. Art gives the cameraman the classic peace sign pose for the shot. Insert. Surfer Magazine cover shot. It's a full-page cover shot of Art deep in the tube. The caption reads, "Epic Planet Blue Tube." Back to the scene. Art presses a button on the wrist console that says, "Accelerate." He shoots out of the tube and back onto the face. All of a sudden, a giant 200-foot sea serpent comes out of the water and chases Art. The sea serpent is gaining on him. The sea serpent opens his mouth and is about to eat Art whole like a piece of popcorn, when just at that moment, the animation goes fuzzy. Via. Art, wake up! It's been daylight for a half an hour now, and you're still snoozing. Get up, you lazy good-for-nothing surf bum. Interior Art's bedroom, morning, summer, 1982. The movie switches back to live action. Art's room is covered with posters of his surfing heroes circa 1982. Today is Art's 16th birthday. Via is jabbing Art's ribs with the nose of his twin-fin surfboard. Art and Via are a bit taller, noticeably older, but still look like kids. Via is starting to have an 80s new wave surf vibe about her. Art looks like a classic early 80s surfer. All the characters are dressed like they just walked out of a 1982 Surfer magazine. Art. Hey, what are you doing? I'm in the best dream of my life. Via. You're sleeping in for a dream? What's wrong with you? Via keeps poking Art with his surfboard. Art. Ow, that hurts. Via. We have surf to catch, birthday boy. Art. Leave me alone. There's no waves today. It's flat, unrideable. Even G.I. Joe couldn't surf today. Via. That's no excuse. I heard the Cape is huge. We should be road tripping it. Art. Yeah, like how are we gonna get there? Via. Minor details. I don't see why that should stop us. Get up. I gotta show you something. Art. Might as well. My dream's ruined after those flesh wounds you just gave me. Art gets out of bed and walks into the bathroom. He is wearing a Quicksilver bathing suit with stars all over them as pajamas. Via picks up a Surfer magazine. Via, finally, a picture of Debbie Beacham surfing. Art, is that not the insanest off the lip you ever saw? Do you think she pulled it off? Via, yeah, she isn't world champ for nothing. You know, I'm going to be world champ one day. Art, dream on. Via, you wait and see. Art comes out of the bathroom fully dressed. Art, now, what were you going to show me? Via, oh yeah. Via tosses the magazine on the bed and they walk out of the room. Exterior porch morning. Art and Via walk out the front door onto the porch. In the driveway is a 1971 dark green, slightly rusted, and slightly dented VW camper bus with a big red bow on the windshield. Art's parents and sister come out from behind the bus cheering. Family and Via, happy 16th birthday! Art looking surprised and stunned. No way. For me? Sally, it's for you. Art, really? For me? Father, it's all yours. Art, wow, this is the best birthday present ever. You guys are the greatest. Art walks over and hugs his whole family. Everybody is stoked and happy. Via walks over to the VW bus. Via, you've got to check out the inside. Art walks over to the VW bus and Via opens the sliding door. Art and Via go inside, and Art's family peers through the windows. Via pops the top of the VW bus so they can stand inside. Art, this thing's so rad! Art looks around inside and notices some of his clothes. Via's surfboard, blankets, groceries, lanterns, camping equipment, etc. Art, hey, this looks like it's loaded for a trip. Via, it is. I packed it myself. We're going to the Cape on our first surf safari. Art, seriously? I am so stoked! Via, yeah, my brother's going to go with us. He's been there before and knows the way. We'll camp out and live in the bus. Art, like surfing nomads. Via, I call top bunk. Art, you got it. Art and Via get out of the VW bus. Via, everything is ready to go. All you got to do is get your surfboard and pass the driving test. The way I figure it, we'll be on the road by 10 a.m. We should be there by dark, and tomorrow we'll be surfing 8 to 10 foot perfection. Yee-hoo! You! Art, you! We're going to the Cape! Art and Via slap each other 5. Art puts his arm around his father, and his father does the same thing. Everyone walks inside to the house to eat breakfast. Sister, now that he's got his car, can I please go back to bed? Dissolve 2. Interior moving VW bus day. Art is driving down the road. Via is in the passenger seat, and Eduardo is sitting in the back. Via, see, I told you that driving test was cake. It's a good thing you used your dad's car. Art, Tell me about it. The stick shift in the bus is impossible. Art tries the downshift, and the gears start grinding. Eduardo is seen cringing with his hands over his ears. Art finally succeeds in downshifting. Art, one last stop and we're on the road. Art makes a left-hand turn and pulls into Bajan's surfboards. Joe is outside sitting in a lawn chair reading a surfer magazine. Art, Via, and Eduardo jump out of the VW bus. Joe, happy birthday, Art. I see you got your present. Art, what? You knew about it too? Joe, yeah, it's my neighbor's old bus. He's been wanting to sell it for a while. I told your mom about it, and there you go. What are you doing here? I thought you'd be long gone by now. Art, we came to get some wax, and then we're out of here. Joe, go on in and get some. Art and Via go inside to get some wax. Joe remains seated. He picks up a cup of coffee and some sugar packets. Joe tears open the packets and empties the contents into the coffee. He then picks up a rusty old screwdriver, sticks the screwdriver in the cup, and stirs his coffee. Joe sets down the screwdriver, and Eduardo walks up to Joe. Joe puts down the cup of coffee, stands up, and with a big smile, shakes Eduardo's hand. Joe, hola, ¿cómo vas? ¿Todo bien? Eduardo, qué buena onda verte, bro. Joe, estás ocupado con esos dos, ¿no es así? Eduardo, no te preocupes. Si se ponen difíciles, los amarro en el techo del auto. Joe, okay, bro, pero asegúrate que no dañen las tablas de surf. Joe and Eduardo are still laughing. Art and Via, with a handful of surf wax, come back outside. They walk over to Joe. Via, thanks, Joe. Art, yeah, thanks, Joe, especially for telling my mom about the bus. Joe, that's easy, but there's one thing you can do for me. Art and Via, what's that? Joe, catch a wave for me. Via, you know it. Art and Via jump into the VW bus. Eduardo shakes Joe's hand and gets in the bus. Art starts it up and tries shifting it into reverse. Joe is cringing with every grind of the gears. Art finally pops it into reverse and the bus starts backing up. Art and Via stick their heads out the window. Via, we're gonzo. Art, you! Joe, chat you later. Art's point of view through the bus front window. Joe shakes his head and waves. They pull out and head down the street. They spot Ledge walking and excitedly pull over. Art, Ledge! Ledge, I thought that was you. What's up with the bus? Art, I just got it for my birthday. Via, yeah, we're off to the Cape. Ledge, your virgin trip to the Cape. You know it breaks a lot bigger and harder up there. Art, we've heard the stories. Via, we can handle it. Ledge, well, as much as I hate to say it, you're not Groms anymore. Go for it, and don't hold back. We've got a reputation to uphold around here, so don't let us down in the surf. Art, committed, looks at Ledge. We won't. Cut 2. Art's point of view through the bus front window. Art sees Devo and another surfer walking down the street and drives towards them. Devo is now 16, still wearing thick black glasses and has black, curly, poofed out hair. Via sticks her head out of the bus as they come up behind Devo. Via, hey, Devo! Devo turns around to see who's calling for him. Via, with her head out of the bus, yells as they pass by. Via, so long, suckers! Devo looks in bewilderment as the bus passes by. He's confused as to why Art is driving a bus and Via is yelling out the window. Devo is clueless to where they are going. Cut 2. A series of shots. Shot A. Via has her arm out the window. She is surfing the air currents with her hand, doing off the lips and cutbacks. The camera pans out to the VW bus driving down the road with the ocean in the background. Shot B. The VW bus is winding through a forest on the edge of a mountain. On the right-hand side, you can see the ocean about 300 feet below. It stretches to the horizon. Shot C. Eduardo is driving. Art is crashed out in the passenger seat, and Via is drawing waves and sketches of her holding a big trophy with the caption, World Champ. Shot D. It is dark. All you can see is the full moon, the headlights, and the silhouette of the VW bus moving down a dirt road. Shot E. The bus is parked. The camper top is popped. The only light is a smoldering campfire in the moon. The only sounds are the crashing waves. Art, Via, and Eduardo are fast asleep. Dissolve 2. End of Chapter 6. Surfing Nomads. Chapter 7. Wax People. Exterior riverbank sunrise. The dark green VW bus with its pop top sits silently at the edge of a river mouth. In the foreground is an eroded riverbank which empties into the ocean, a tree-lined U-shaped cove, and about 10 to 12-foot waves breaking. Cut 2. Art sits cross-legged at the edge of the eroded riverbank, as he is watching the sunrise and the waves breaking in the foreground. He is next to the campfire and is drinking hot chocolate. Via wakes up in her bunk, which is in the top section of the VW bus. She looks at the waves through a little screened-in window. Via, it's firing! Via notices Art sitting next to the fire in a meditative state. Via, dang it! Via scurries out of the top bunk, jumps to the floor, scoots around her sleeping brother, and exits the VW bus. Via, with a small box in her hand, walks up to Art, who is sitting next to the fire. Art, with a cocky grin, looks up at Via. Art, there's a pot of hot chocolate near the fire. Via, okay, just go ahead and say it. Art, what? Via, just say it. Art, oh, you mean that you basically just slept the whole morning away? Via, yeah. Art, and we came hundreds of miles to surf, and all you can do is sleep. Via looks at Art and acknowledges her defeat, then gets over it. Via, yeah, now give me some of that hot chocolate. Art and Via both look at each other, smile, and laugh. Art, the waves are going off. They're some of the biggest waves I've ever seen. Art points to the left-hand side of the river mouth. Art, look how hollow it is. That's the spot Joe was telling me about. He said, this is where you'll learn to be a great tube rider. Via, what an insane wave. Via looks at Art and changes the subject. Via, remember when we were little and Joe would pay us $5 to scrape the old crusty wax off the used surfboards? Flashback 2. Exterior, Bajan surfboards, day. Via and Art's dialogue continues over the flashback. Art and Via are 12 years old. They are outside of the surf shop, scraping the wax off of 10 used surfboards. Art, yeah, we were like 12 and thought it was the coolest thing ever that Joe would ask us to scrape off the wax. Via, do you remember those horribly deformed figurines that we made out of the old crusty wax? Flashback continues. Art and Via smiling and laughing, making deformed figures out of the gray wax ball from the surfboards. Art, I made a figurine that looked like you, and you made a figurine that looked like me. Via, yeah, they look like misshapen zombies. I stuck them together and said the words, friends forever. End flashback. Exterior, riverbank, sunrise, present day. Via hands Art a small box. Happy 16th birthday. Art opens the box and reveals the deformed wax figurines. He looks at Via with a big smile. Art, friends forever. Art and Via make eye contact with each other, and they acknowledge that they are, indeed, the best of friends. Cut 2. Exterior, beach, morning. Art and Via are walking on the beach wearing full wetsuits. Each has a surfboard under their arms. They are winding their way through the huge weathered logs and stumps that have been deposited here from the river. They reach the shoreline and strap their leashes to their ankle. Art and Via begin to paddle out. In the foreground, the hollow waves are breaking. Pelicans and other shorebirds are diving into the ocean, feeding off of a school of fish. Art and Via duck dive the shore break and head for the surf. Art's point of view. Via is paddling out as a huge wave breaks. The wave pitches out, tubes, and spits out a plume of water. Via's facial features turn to excitement. Via, did you see that tube? It's cooking! Art, it's cooking! Art, check out the one behind it! Radical! Via, I've died and gone to heaven. Art and Via are sitting at the lineup. They have mastered the basics of surfing, but there is always more to learn. This is shown in their surfing styles. Art, geez, it's a little bigger once you get out here. Via, tell me about it. Art, well, let's go for it. The reputation of our home break is at stake. Via, here comes a set. A four-wave set marches in on the horizon. Every swell is a carbon copy of the one behind it. As the first wave passes, Art and Via rise to the crest and sink to the trough of the wave. The same thing happens again on the second wave. Via looks at the third wave. She spins her board around and paddles for the wave. She drops into a 10-footer. Looking a little awkward, she makes the bottom turn. The wave pitches out and lands right on her head. She disappears under the water. As Via surfaces, she looks at the next wave coming at her. Art is getting ready to drop in. Via's point of view. Via is watching Art drop into the wave. He is also looking a bit unsteady, making the bottom turn. The wave pitches out, but he's too far in front of it to get tubed. Art speeds down the section as Via takes a breath and dives underwater for safety. Via's hands are swimming to the bottom. The white turbulence gets a hold of her and spins her around like a washing machine. She begins to ascend and finally breaks through the surface, gasping for air. Via quickly regains her composure. Via, I love it! Via's point of view, back of the wave. Art is catapulted through the air and hooting as the wave passes underneath him. Art lands in the water behind the wave. He retrieves his surfboard and paddles towards Via. Art, this place is going off! Art and Via are side by side, paddling back out to the lineup. Art, how was your ride? Via, I got guillotined. Art, ooh. Art and Via arrive at the lineup. A set wave appears on the horizon. Via looks at Art with a focused determination to conquer the world. Via, I'm on it! She spins around and paddles for the wave. Art and Via are now on a mission. They are taken on the waves with no fear or hesitation. A series of shots. Shot A. Via drops into a wave, disappears under a curtain of water, and gets tubed. Shot B. Art does a sweeping bottom turn, stalls, and gets the barrel of his life. Shot C. Art and Via are hanging out at the lineup with 5 other surfers. Shot D. Eduardo catches a wave. He gets tubed and comes out. Shot E. Art V and Eduardo are back at the campsite, eating a sandwich and watching people surf in the foreground. Shot F. Art V and Eduardo paddle back out to the lineup. Shot G. Art gets a deep barrel and comes out. Shot H. Via gets tubed and does a vertical off the lip. Shot I. The sunset approaches and silhouettes of surfers are sitting in the lineup. They are moving up and down with the crest and trough of the waves. Dissolve 2. End of Chapter 7. Wax People. Chapter 8. Soul Surfer. Interior Bajan Surfboards Day. Art walks into Bajan Surfboards with a disheartened look about him. Joe is behind the counter. He is finishing up a sale with a customer. Joe notices the look on Art's face. Art is fumbling around the store, waiting for the customer to leave. As the customer leaves, Joe's attention shifts to Art. Joe, what's with the bum face? Art, nothing. Joe, come on. I've seen that look before. Art walks up to the counter and starts stacking bars of wax, one on top of the other. I'm bummed cause Via made the surf team and I didn't. Joe reaches behind the counter and gets a pen and a piece of paper. He writes something on the paper. Joe, hey, let's go check the waves. Art, okay. Joe and Art walk outside. Joe tapes the sign to the door. The sign reads, "Checking the surf. Be back in 15 minutes." Exterior beach day. Joe and Art are standing at the beach looking at the waves. In the foreground is the clear blue ocean with 2 to 4 foot peeling surf. Joe, do you know what I regard as one of your finest qualities? Art, no. What? Joe, transcendence. Your transcendence is far beyond your age, far beyond most people on this earth. Art has a puzzled look on his face. Art, I'm not sure I understand what you mean. Joe, there's a deep interconnection between your mind, the natural world, and the ocean. Your perception of the world is on a completely different level than the rest of us. Joe looks around. What do you see? Art, what do you mean by that? Joe, exactly what I said. Look around you. Free and open your mind. Tell me, what do you see? Art first looks at Joe a bit confused, but as their eyes lock, he understands exactly what Joe is asking him. In a reflective and calm state, Art scans the horizon. Art, I see the ocean and the blue water rushing through my veins, the sunlight shimmering off the water's surface like diamonds, and the offshore spray turning into rainbows. I see the horizon ending and the universe beginning. Joe, stunning. And how does that make you feel? Art, it has a cleansing effect on me. I feel like I belong to the ocean, and the ocean belongs to me. We are one. Art looks at Joe as if he's just figured out the meaning of life. Art, it's paradise. Kind of stupid, huh? Joe, no, not at all. Most surfers would have only seen the waves. They don't see the whole picture the way you do. Most surfers are in the water. Few surfers are of the water. You surf because it feels good trimming down a wave and being in harmony with nature, not because you're trying to impress the girls or win a trophy. Joe looks at Art as if he's just been initiated into an exclusive club. Joe, you're one of the special ones, a soul surfer. Art looks at Joe with admiration. Joe, being a soul surfer bears responsibilities, though. You're responsible for passing the history and the tradition of surfing to the next generation, to keep the surf culture alive, to teach surfers how to live in peace with the ocean, and most importantly, to be a surfer of goodwill. You're the glue that keeps us all together. This is much more important than being on the surf team. Art, feeling 10 feet tall, looks up at Joe. Art, a soul surfer, huh? Joe, I knew it was in you the first time you walked into the shop. Joe looks straight into Art's eyes. Joe, wheeze wee? Art, wheeze wee. A Passage of Time. Year, 1983, 5'11" natural art quasar, quad fin design with a swallow tail and neon curved stripe down the deck. Year, 1984, 5'10" burn, thruster design, channel bottom deep V, squash tail with a sunset orange fade deck with rails. Year, 1985, 6'0" town and country, thruster design, squash tail, extra large yin and yang logo on the nose with smaller yin and yang logos on the deck. Full-blown neon geometric shapes painted on the deck. Year, 1986. 6'3" Channel Islands Black Beauty. Thruster design, rounded pintail, all-white deck with black outline on the rail. Year, 1987. 6'6" Rusty. Thruster design, pintail, all-white board with a single letter R. Fade 2. The current year is 1988, and we pick up where we left off in the story. Exterior beach sunrise. The year 1988. The sun is rising, and Art is sitting at the picnic table by himself. He's checking out the 6-foot waves breaking. Art is now 21, mature-looking, physically fit, and a bowl-cut hairstyle. His 3-fin surfboard is leaning against the picnic table. The surfboard is completely white, with the exception of a small logo that says Bajan Surfboards. Via walks up to the picnic table. Via is 21, mature-looking, physically fit, and has a new wave vibe about her. All the characters in this time period look like they have stepped out of a 1988 surfer magazine. Art and Via are now the local hotshots. Via lays her surfboard on top of the picnic table. Her 3-fin surfboard is the exact opposite of Art's. It is pasted with a multitude of sponsors' logos, as well as the Bajan Surfboards team logo. The difference in the two surfboards is significant. Art's board represents the soul surfer, and Via's board represents the contest surfer. Via is wearing a t-shirt that reads, Bajan Surf Team. Via, hey Art, what's up? Art, oh, not much, just getting ready for the morning session. Via pulls out a brand new bar of wax. She starts waxing her board in circular motions. Via is looking at the waves and occasionally looks at Art. Via, the waves look fun. Where have you been lately? I haven't seen you in the water. Art, college has been killing me. It seems like all I do is study and go to class. The only chance I get to surf is at sunrise. Art looks around. I dig it, though, because I'm usually the only one out. Art longingly looks at Via. I miss those days when it was just you and me, surfing at sunrise, our adventures, being friends forever. Via, you know, those days are long gone. We're not kids anymore, you know? Art, kids are not kids. I still miss those days. Via, look, you know I'm about to turn pro. Don't you know how much dedication, effort, and sacrifice that takes? Art, I know. Via, there's no time to be playing children's games to see who can get to the beach first. Art pauses and stares out into the ocean with introspection. He then looks up at Via. Art. Well, we're both here this morning, and that's all that matters. Art looks at Via and smiles. Art. I'm glad to see you, Via. Via looks at Art and smiles. Via. I'm happy to see you too, Art. Art and Via both smile as they reflect upon the past. Via. Hey, are you going to the surf contest this weekend? Art. I don't know. I don't think so. Via. Come on, it's only the biggest contest of the year. Even a soul surfer like yourself can watch a contest. It won't kill ya. There's surfers from 500 miles away coming. You can watch me beat them all. Art. All right, I'll be there. But in the meantime, let's just get in the water, Miss Pro Surfer. Art and Via smile at each other, grab their surfboards, and head for the water. Dissolve 2. Exterior Surfing Contest Day. A series of shots. Shot A. A 1970s wood-paneled Ford Country Squire station wagon with a surfboard on the roof racks pulls up to a crowded makeshift gravel and sand parking lot. It's full of cars and visiting surfers. Shot B. Devo, Ledge, and Tuna all get out of the station wagon as if they are the center of the universe. Their surroundings and the other people around them are meaningless and inconsequential. Devo opens up the driver's side door as Via puts on sunglasses and exits the car as if she is the prize fighter in the main event. Devo closes the door behind her and Via takes her surfboard off the racks. Via and her entourage have arrived. Shot C. Flash forward to Via surfing in the contest against other girls and dominating. Shot D. Flashback to Tuna in front with Ledge and Devo flanked on each side. They plow their way through the crowd, leaving a wide open space for Via to walk in total freedom. The four of them in a cool swagger let everyone know that this is their beach and they own it. Everyone and everything have to make way for Via, the surfer that no one can beat. Shot E. Flash forward to Via battling for position next to another girl in the surf contest and dropping into a wave. Shot F. Flash back to the entourage walking past Joe and paying their respects. Shot G. Flash forward to Via shredding a wave. Shot H. Flashback to Art cheering and hooting at the spectacle as the entourage passes him and heads for the scaffolding that is covered with sponsors' banners and flags. Dissolve 2. Exterior Surfing Contest Beach Day. Present time. A crowd of 300 people are on the beach. There are spectators, surfers who have entered the contest, groups of surfers who represent various regional surf teams, and entire families rooting for their mother, father, sons, and daughters. Surfboards of various shapes and sizes are littered everywhere. It's the surfing event of the year, and it's hopping. Via and the 5 male surfers are on the shoreline, waiting for the horn to start their heat. The 6 surfers have different color skin-tight lycra jerseys on, and Via's is light blue. The horn sounds, and the 6 surfers go running into the water, jump on their surfboards, and feverishly paddle out to the lineup. Commentator. Heat number 2 of the men's division is in the water. In the red is Kanoa Alkai. In the green is Isaac Miran. In yellow is Felipe Torres. Cut 2. Art is talking to Bruna Braga. Bruna moved here from Portugal, and she is part of the surf crew. In the foreground, the crowd is watching the surf contestants paddling out into the lineup. Commentator, continuing. In the dark blue is Ramsey Aziz. In the orange is Jordy Richardson. Art. I think that's the best you've ever surfed. Bruna. Yeah, I got super lucky. I outpositioned the other surfers in the heat and caught every set wave. Everything just clicked. Commentator. Wait a minute. Did I say the men's heat? Well, hold on to your straw hats, because in the light blue jersey is Via Franco. She knows no boundaries and has entered the men's division. Dominating the women's league is not enough for this young champion. She's now taken on the boys. Art and Bruna turn their attention to Via and begin hooting and cheering with the crowd. Exterior, Ocean Day. Isaac Mirren in the green jersey and Via are side by side paddling for position. Isaac and Via start exchanging words. Isaac, you don't belong here. This is the men's heat. The men's heat! Via, what? You can't handle that a girl might just beat you? Isaac, beat me? Don't get all emotional and start crying when I humiliate you. An oncoming wave approaches. Via and Isaac fight for position. Commentator. Villafranco and Isaac Mirren are dueling it out for position. Oh, what a maneuver by Villafranco. That puts her in position. She's dropping into a nice wave. Via goes for her patented off-the-lip slashback. Ooh, and digs a rail and wipes out. That's not going to score well with the judges. Via pops up to the surface and recovers her board. Via, ah! Via looks up to watch Isaac in the foreground drop into the next wave right in front of her. Commentator, here comes a set wave. Isaac Mirren's on it. He's going for the cover-up. Yee! What a tube ride! Right in front of Via. Oh, and what a spectacular off the lip. She cannot be happy about that. Isaac finishes his ride and paddles to Via. Isaac, give it up. You belong with the other girls, on stage in the bikini contest. You know, on second thought, don't bother. You couldn't even win that. Exterior, beach, day. The crowd on the beach are watching the competitors in the water. Commentator, stickers! Stickers! I see someone out there with a handful of stickers. All the grommets in the crowd shift their attention from watching the contest to finding out who has the stickers. Commentator, could it be John Marcucci? John looks up at the scaffolding and holds up his empty hands. Commentator, how about Bruna Braga? Bruna and Art look at the scaffolding and start laughing. Bruna holds up her empty hands. Commentator, wait a minute. Who's that with their hands full over there? Is that... No, it couldn't be. It's Devo! Get him! All the grommets spot Devo and rush towards him. Devo sees the onslaught of grommets coming after him and starts running. Everyone is laughing and giggling. Devo is throwing stickers in the air as the grommets chase him all around the beach. The crowd gets a big kick out of it and cheer for the grommets. Note, Devo's glasses have also changed. They now look like a type of modified swim goggle with extremely thick lenses. The goggles cover his entire eye sockets. They are one-of-a-kind glasses, very edgy and very cool. Cut 2. Art and Bruna are standing next to each other talking. The commentator continues. What an insane ride by Villafranco! She needed that one desperately. She won't win this heat, but with that ride, she should advance to the next round. Bruna. Why didn't you enter the surf contest? Art. That's really not my scene. Bruna. But you're as good as anyone here. I still don't understand why you didn't enter. Art. I just don't think surfing's about who's better than who. It's a competition between yourself and the ocean, not against one another. Bruna. I don't see anything wrong with a little friendly competition. It's part of human nature. The horn blows, and the next heat of 6 surfers charge into the water, while Via and the other 5 surfers bellyboard to the beach. Art and Bruna are still having the same conversation. Art. Yeah, we humans love to compete. You got a point there. But for me, surfing is different. It's the visceral experience of sharing the stoke from a fellow surfer who's hooting and cheering you on for the wave you're riding. That energy gives you the drive to push the limits and become a better surfer. It's the exact opposite in competitions. In competitions, it pits surfer against surfer. Tensions become high and tempers flare. It's no longer surfing in its purest form. Via, visibly upset, walks up to Art and Bruna. Via, that was one of the worst heats I've ever had. You cannot believe what that guy in the green jersey was saying to me. Bruna, don't let it bother you. He was probably trying to psych you out, that's all. Via, no, it was way more than that. This guy was being a total jerk. Art, see, this is what I'm talking about. The only person who was happy at a surf contest is the person who comes in first place. The peaceful coexistence has been shattered. Via gives Art a nasty look and throws her surfboard in the sand. Via, with outrage in her eyes, looks at Art. Via, peaceful coexistence? You have no idea what just happened out there in the water. No idea at all. Art becomes angry and upset. Art, see, this is why I didn't want to come. Via, didn't want to come? This is my dream. I've worked so hard to make it this far. A little support from my best friend might be nice. Maybe the problem is you can't stomach watching me win. After all these years, you're still sore about not making the surf team when I did, aren't you? Art, I'm not sore. Surfing's about having fun, that's all. Via, yeah, okay, Mr. Soul Surfer. Art, sure thing, Miss Pro Surfer. Via walks away angry and heads to the scaffolding. Art is just as angry and kicks the sand. Dissolve 2. Exterior, beach, shoreline, day. Via is heading towards the shoreline where 5 other male surfers with different colored jerseys are standing. She passes by Ledge and stops. Via, hey Ledge, do you have any of that waterproof eyeliner? Ledge, sure, why? Via, I want to look and feel like a fierce warrior. I want to wake up the Kitu ancestors inside me. Via looks at Ledge with an unflinching determination. Ledge channels Via's feelings. Ledge, oh yeah, now you're talking. I know just what to do. When those surfers look into your eyes, they'll turn to stone and sink to the bottom of the ocean. Ledge draws a thick black line around her entire eyelid, which gives her an edgy, punkish, take-no-prisoners look. Ledge looks Via squarely in the eyes. Ledge, your strength is unstoppable. Via stands tall, grabs her surfboard, and confidently walks to the shoreline. Note, from now on, this will be Via's signature look whenever she is surfing in a contest. Via and the 5 male surfers are anxiously awaiting the horn to start the men's finals. Commentator, this is what we've all been waiting for, the men's finals. They're not too happy with Via Franco in the mix. If anything, I would say the men are looking a bit nervous. But nonetheless, this is how legends are born. Via's attitude has changed dramatically. She stares at Isaac Mirren with a stone-cold look. It's as if she can see the future and how the finals are going to end. It ends in total annihilation of the men surfers. A series of shots. Shot A. The horn blows. They run, enter the water, and start sprint paddling through the waves to the lineup. Shot B. Isaac bumps Via on the paddle out to rattle her nerves. She is totally unfazed and with a fierceness in her eyes, turns to the right and paddles right over his legs and feet, which actually startles Isaac. Shot C. Via, jockeying for position, paddles around a surfer, catches the wave, and shreds the wave to perfection. Shot D. Isaac responds by catching a wave and riding it to perfection. Shot E. Via and Isaac are jostling for position. Isaac outmaneuvers Via. He is about to drop in when a moment of hubris takes hold. He looks at Via and winks at her. This split-second delay causes him to misjudge the wave, hurling him into the air in a major wipeout. Shot F. Via drops into the next wave with complete confidence and sheer determination. She gets barreled, does a bottom turn off the lip, heads back down the face of the wave where Isaac is paddling back out. She then does a roundhouse cutback, sending a spray of water right into Isaac's face. As she passes him, she blows him a kiss. Shot G. An aerial shot of all 6 surfers together. Via drops into another wave and surfs it as only a champion could. Shot H. Via is on the victory stand, holding up the women's first place trophy and the men's first place trophy. Chapter 10. Party House. Interior beach house, night. A party of about 40 people is in the living room. Everyone is dressed up in their best beach attire. The whole surf crew is there: Via, Art, Devo, Tuna, Ledge, Bruna, and other local surf personalities. It's a rich mix of ethnicities and races. There are surfboards and surf pictures hanging on the tongue and groove wooden walls. A live band is in the corner of the living room playing rockabilly surf tunes. A sign behind the band says, "Congratulations, Via. Wishing you well on the pro tour." Via is in front of a group of people using hand and arm movements to describe an earlier wave she rode. It's a party in full motion and grooving. Art and Devo are at the kitchen bar, which divides the living room and the kitchen. There is a table full of various dishes of food and snacks. While Devo is talking, he's sifting through a bowl of blue tortilla chips, scrutinizing and searching for the deformed triangle shapes that are folded over like a cylinder. These chips resemble perfectly shaped, A-framed tubing waves. Devo: "I can't take the crowds in the water anymore. I'm going to New Zealand. It's a surfer's paradise over there." Art: "Yeah, I hear ya. There's countless point breaks." Devo finds a wave-shaped chip and delicately places it on the blue plate. Art: "And Raglan is one of the longest lefts in the world." Devo: "Dude, but the best part is there's nobody out at these places. No crowds, no hassles, just you and the surf, surrounded by green mountains and tons of sheep. I'm going there. I'm getting out of this rat race." Art: "I'm with you on that. You know where I'm going. As soon as I graduate college, I'm off to the islands, where it's just me and the waves." Devo: "You should." At that very moment, Art looks into the living room and establishes eye contact with Erica Simmons. She is not dressed in the usual surf attire. You can tell she did not grow up at the beach. She has an artistic, philosophical, intellectual look and feel about her. For a brief moment, their eyes lock, and they are both hypnotized by each other as if time has stopped. Art does not hear a word Devo just said. Devo: "Well, what do you think?" Art snaps out of his trance with Erica. Art: "Huh? What? Huh?" Devo: "You know, about us going to New Zealand and opening up a bar called Sheep Shuckers Inn." Art: "Oh, yeah, right. Devo: "We could have sheep shearing contests, and instead of ladies' night, we could have sheep night. All sheep get in free." Art: "Sounds killer to me, but nothing's stopping me from going to the islands." Devo picks up a broccoli spear from an uncleaned plate. He sticks the broccoli spear upside down on a plate with the chips. A close-up reveals a diorama of a perfect beach scene. The blue plate represents the ocean. Brown cheese dip is spread flat on the plate to represent sand. A series of 4 broccoli spears are turned upside down in the cheese dip, representing palm trees. Sour cream represents the whitewater. And finally, 4 folded over blue tortilla chips are placed in the sour cream. It's a masterpiece of art depicting a perfect set of waves breaking at the beach. Via walks up, looks at the diorama, and then at Devo. She's speechless and starts shaking her head as she smiles. Via: "What's up, Devo?" Devo: "Oh, not much. Just hanging out like a hare on a biscuit." Via quietly laughs at Devo's comments. Meanwhile, Devo's attention is still focused on his diorama. Art looks at Via. Art: "Hey, sorry if I blew your scene at the beach today. You just happened to walk up into the middle of a conversation about why I don't surf contests." Via's smile turns to aggravation. Via: "Look, I was doing my best to win today. I came to you for support, and what do I get? More of your stupid granola-eating, hippie philosophy about soul surfing." Art: "What exactly does that mean?" Via: "You're as good as any surfer I know. No one cares anymore about being in harmony with the ocean. All surfers care about nowadays is shredding the wave as hard as they can. Competitive surfing in the pro circuit is the new wave. Get with the times. Soul surfing is dead. Art and Via tensely stare at each other. Devo puts his arms around Art and Via, and he tries to break the conflict. Devo looks at both of them in their eyes. Devo. Doo-doo! The opposite of don't. Devo's attempt to break the tension doesn't work. Art breaks free of Devo's arms. Art. Yeah, well, good luck with your pro career. Art quietly leaves the party and walks out the front door. Surfer number 2 comes up and high-fives Via. Surfer number 2. Congrats on joining the pro circuit, but we're going to miss you. Via watches Art leave and is not really paying attention to surfer number 2. Via. Yeah, thanks. I'm going to miss you too and everyone else. At the same time, an out-of-towner and his buddies are looking at Devo and making fun of his glasses. Out-of-towner. Nice glasses, Aquaman. Devo. Jeez, what's in the water today? Everyone's so uptight. Was there a sewer discharge in the ocean or something? The out-of-towner thinks Devo is talking about him. He approaches and knocks off Devo's glasses, which reveals a portion of his face that never sees the sun. His eye sockets and temples are completely white, whereas the rest of his face has a dark tan. This tan line gives the effect of a white bandit mask or a raccoon face. Devo. What's wrong with you, dude? The out-of-towner gets buffed up and ready to fight. Out-of-towner. Are you calling me sewer discharge, you raccoon face? Ledge walks up and tries to calm things down. Ledge. Why don't we all just take a breather and settle things down? Out-of-towner. First Aquaman, and now the Queen of the Seas shows up. What kind of party is this? A giant freak show? Ledge becomes very upset and gives a death stare to the out-of-towner. At that very moment, Tuna breaks into the melee, shirtless and full of muscles. He approaches the out-of-towner. Tuna, with the rage in his eyes, stares down the out-of-towner, grabs him by the collar, and starts shaking him back and forth violently. Tuna. Listen here, sea lice! Tuna looks Ledge square in the eyes. This is no freak show. Tuna then looks at the out-of-towner. If you're calling Ledge a freak, you're calling me a freak. You're calling all of us freaks. The out-of-towner says nothing. Tuna. And nobody, I mean nobody, messes with Devo's glasses. I suggest you leave now before someone loses their eyesight. Grommet number 3, under the protection of Tuna, yells out, Yeah, beat it, sea lice. The out-of-towner and his buddies sulk out of the party and leave. Via walks over to console Ledge. Via straightens out the shoulder strap on Ledge's sundress in a loving and tender way. Via. This world is full of jerks. Don't let him bother you. You're the most beautiful person I know. Ledge smiles at Via and gives Via a big hug. Ledge regains composure and addresses the crowd. Ledge, let's lighten this party up. We're here to give a proper send-off to Via and wish her well on the pro surfing tour. The crowd cheers. Ledge, hey Devo! Get up there and sing a song for us. Devo is not in a joyful place. He puts his glasses back on and sadly shakes his head no. Ledge, we're not taking no for an answer. Come on, Devo. With his head down, Devo still does not respond. Ledge starts chanting. Strobe light, strobe light, strobe light. The crowd now starts chanting. Strobe light, strobe light, strobe light. Devo lifts his head and a tiny part of his frown turns into a smile. The crowd starts to cheer, and they are still chanting, "Strobe light! Strobe light!" Devo snaps out of it and has a full-blown smile. He grabs Via by the hand and heads to the stage. The crowd cheers. The band starts playing a slow, instrumental love ballad as Devo and Via each grab a microphone for their duet. Devo, this song is for all the lovers. Boom! The band instantly switches tempo from a slow love ballad to an up-tempo, total danceable new wave song, Strobe Light by the B-52s. The crowd goes wild. A series of shots. Shot A. The band begins to play. Shot B. Devo starts to sing and act out the lyrics. He's trying to woo Via into making love with him under the strobe light. Via stands on stage acting bored and disinterested. She wants nothing to do with Devo's advances. Shot C. Devo now sings with energy that tonight's the night we make love under the strobe light. Just at that moment, the lights go dark and the strobe lights start flashing. Everyone at the party goes crazy and starts dancing under the pulsating strobe lights. Shot B. The strobe lights turn off and the lights come back on. Devo starts singing about all the places he wants to kiss Via. Via starts to act intrigued and becomes interested in his advances. Shot E. Via starts singing, "I want to make love to you under the strobe light." Shot F. Again, the lights go dark and the strobe lights start flashing. The crowd is now dancing in an uncontrollable frenzy as the strobe lights keep pulsing. Cut 2. Exterior. Party house. Night. Art is walking down the street alone. It is quiet. The only exception is the muffled thumping noises coming from the band playing at the party house. In the background, you can see the strobe lights flashing out the windows as Art walks away. Cut 2. Exterior. Beach. Night. It is dark and quiet at the beach. The only light is from the fishing pier shining down on the water. The only noises are the waves crashing. Art sits alone on the beach, cross-legged, with his surfboard and wetsuit next to him in the darkness. He is in an introspective state, thinking about what was said at the party and how he and Via are taking different paths in life. The ocean is his warm blanket and helps soothe the sadness he feels. Art stands up and starts putting on his wetsuit. He picks up his surfboard and starts walking into the darkness of the ocean. A series of shots. Shot A. Art paddles out a few feet away from the pier pilings as the light shines down on him. He duck dives the oncoming waves into the darkness. Shot B. Art sits on his surfboard looking up to the moon. He is bobbing up and down with the trough and crest of the swells. Shot C. A full shot of Art's silhouette dropping into a 6-foot wave. He does a bottom turn and trims down the face. Gaining speed, he roller coasters up and down the face, finishing with an off the lip. Shot D. Via is on stage at the party. Someone hands her both trophies she won earlier in the day. She holds up the trophies with a sense of hard-fought accomplishment as the crowd cheers. Shot E. Art rides another wave with the pier and lights in the background. Shot F. Via is shaking hands and hugging her fellow surfers as they leave the party. They are congratulating her and wishing her well on the pro tour. Shot G. Art is walking alone on the beach with his surfboard under his arm. He disappears into the darkness. Chapter 11. The Date. Interior, Chowder Fred's evening. Art is walking into Chowder Fred's as Craig, Ledge's alter ego to a conforming society, is walking out. Art high-fives Craig. Art, "What's up, Craig?" Craig, "Stokin'." Craig walks out the front door. Chowder Fred's is a diner-type restaurant with a casual atmosphere and a surfing theme. There are antique surfboards hanging from the ceiling and on the walls. There is also old classic black and white pictures of surfers riding longboards from the 50s and 60s. Art walks up to Fred Solomon and orders his meal. Fred is the owner. He is an older surfer in his 60s, burly and in good shape, yet weathered with leathery, wrinkled skin from 60 years of frying in the sun. Your classic old salt. On the front of his uniform is Chowder Fred's logo, which is in the form of skull and crossbones. The crossbones are surfboards, and the skull is a cup of steamy clam chowder. The restaurant is a reflection of Fred, weathered, worn, and welcoming. Art is wearing a damp bathing suit, a t-shirt with the Bajan Surfboards logo on it, and leather flip-flops. His hair is wet and his feet are sandy. Fred, "Do you want this to go?" Art, "Yeah, Fred, I'm a cruise on home." Fred, "That'll be $4.56. Art pulls out some wet money and hands it to Fred. Fred drapes the wet dollar bills on a napkin holder to dry it off. Fred, "Did you go surfing?" Art, "Yeah." Fred gets a crazed look in his face. Fred, "But there's no waves. It's been flat. Flat for over a month." Art, "I know. I'm going through withdrawals. I just had to get in the water." Fred, "I haven't been in the water in so long. How was it?" Art, "Ankle to knee-high mini peelers. It was perfection. So glassy, it was like surfing on butter." Fred, "I've got to catch some waves. I'm starting to lose my gills. It's been that long. I'm going friggin' cuckoo." Art, "Yeah, there's no end in sight. It's a surfing drought." Fred, "The likes we've never seen before." Art, "I didn't even care if the waves were ankle high. It felt good just to be in the water." Fred gets the crazed look on his face again. Fred, "Stop talking about it. Stop the insanity. I can't take it anymore. Stop it. Just stop it. I gotta get out of here. Just stop it. Stop it. Stop it." Fred, still crazed and muttering gibberish, walks away and heads into the kitchen. Art sits down at a small table and waits for his order. A few tables away is Erica Simmons serving food to a family. She has the same Chowder Fred shirt on. Art looks over to the table and recognizes Erica from the party. At the same time, Erica looks at Art and remembers him from the party. As they look at each other, their eyes lock once again. She sets a drink on the table and smiles at Art. Art smiles back. Erica walks away from the table and heads to Art. As she walks by, she looks down at Art's sandy feet and points. Erica, "You got some sand in your toes?" Art, perplexed, looks down at his sandy feet and then looks back up at Erica as she passes by. Erica, "Made you look." Art starts laughing and makes eye contact one more time as Erica walks into the kitchen. Erica comes out of the kitchen with a to-go order and sits it on the counter. With a romantic smile, she looks at Art and signals his order is ready. Art, with a flirty smile, walks up to the counter. He looks down at his feet, then at Erica. Art, "I just wanted to apologize for my sandy feet. My name is Art, by the way." "I'm Erica. It's nice meeting you." Erica is reading the food order stapled to the paper bag. Erica, "A beet burger?" Art, "What's wrong with a beet burger?" Erica, Oh, I don't know. I pictured you more as a shark sandwich kind of guy. Art. Sharks and I? We have come to a mutual agreement. Erica is laughing with a quizzical look on her face. Erica. An agreement? Art. Absolutely. I don't eat sharks, and sharks don't eat me. Erica just shakes her head and starts laughing. Art smiles at her and starts laughing. He feels the chemistry between them and musters up the confidence to ask her out. Art. Hey, there's a reggae show Saturday night. I was wondering if maybe you'd like to go? Erica. Yeah, that sounds like fun. Erica notices the people at one of her tables are ready to order. They are looking a bit antsy and impatient. She hurriedly writes the number down on a piece of paper and gives it to Art. Erica. I've got to go. Give me a call later tonight, and we can talk about it then. Both of them, enamored, look at each other one last time and part their ways. Dissolve 2. Exterior. Reggae band at beach, night. The reggae band is playing outdoors at a beachfront bar. The bar is called Con Tiki. There are tiki torches and wooden tikis decorating the stage. The beach is the dance floor. About 50 people are dancing with no shoes on. The who's who of the surfing community are all there. Devo, Bruna, Ledge, Tuna, Fred, and even Joe. They are dressed casually with shorts, t-shirts, sundresses, etc. Plus, there are many people with dreadlocks in attendance. It's a cultural mash of people from all over the world. Everyone is dancing to the reggae beat. Erica and Art are dancing in the crowd. They dance their way to Devo. Devo is the only person not dancing to the reggae beat. He's doing the surfer stomp, which is the stomping of the right leg twice, then stomping of the left leg twice, along with broad shoulder movements. This makes Devo stick out of the crowd like a sore thumb. Erica looks at Devo in bewilderment as he stomps. Art. Hey Devo, I'd like you to meet somebody. All three are still dancing as Art introduces Erica to Devo. Art. Devo, this is Erica. Erica, this is Devo. He's a good friend of mine, as well as one of the most stylish surfers in the water. Devo, still doing the surfer stomp, looks at her. Devo. It's nice meeting you. Erica. It's nice meeting you too. Art. What? No dance partner? Devo. Nope. Tonight, I'm just a lonely octopus in a stray pigeon world. Erica looks at Art and starts laughing. Devo stomps away to another area of the dance floor. Art and Erica keep dancing and moving around the crowd. Art acknowledges the presence of other people he comes in contact with, such as Bruna and Fred from the restaurant. Joe and his wife, Molly Montgomery, come up from behind. Joe abruptly pushes his way in between Art and Erica. He puts his arms around the both of them. He moves his head from side to side and looks at Art, and then at Erica, as if he's watching a tennis match. Joe. What do we have here? Art. Hey, Joe. This is Erica. Joe. Love is such a beautiful thing. Art starts to blush and is embarrassed, while Erica thinks it's funny. Art. What are you talking about? Joe, with a Cheshire Cat grin, twists his head towards Art and looks him in the eyes. Joe. Joe, with the same Cheshire Cat grin, twists his head in the opposite direction and looks at Erica. Joe. Molly sees the embarrassment and torture Joe is inflicting upon Art. Molly, "Hey, Jojo, if love is such a beautiful thing, then leave the boy alone and come dance with your wife." Joe smiles and rolls his eyes one last time. He gives a final glance to Art and Erica. He removes his arms, slowly backs away, and with a big grin starts dancing with his wife. Molly has a big grin as well. You can tell Joe and Molly are deeply in love with each other. Erica, "I like your friends. A bit on the eccentric side, but I like them." Art, "Yeah, I'm with you on that one. But I think it has to do with surfing and growing up at the beach." Erica, "The beach, huh? You know, that makes some sense. People here value things much differently than where I'm from. Everyone here is living life to the fullest. They don't seem to worry about what kind of car they drive or how their hair looks. It's a different world onto its own, raw and to the core of life." Art, "It's the ocean. The ocean is the great equalizer." Erica, "What do you mean by that?" Art, "The ocean doesn't care if you're rich or poor, young or old. The ocean doesn't care about the color of your skin, gender, social status. The ocean has no nationality. It punishes and rewards everyone equally. The ocean grounds you. It makes you humble, and it teaches you that the world and nature is much, much bigger than yourself, much bigger than any one surfer. It's a connecting force. The surf community you see in front of you, it's the shared experience of the ocean among us. That force is the bond between surfers." Art continues talking and sees Ledge walking towards him. Ledge is wearing white linen pants and a white linen halter top. Art looks at Ledge. Art, "It allows you to be free. Free to be you. Right, Ledge?" Ledge, "Absolutely." Ledge gives Art a big hug, and Art hugs Ledge right back. Art looks across the dance floor at Joe, who is dancing with his wife and being surrounded by the people who mean the most to him. Art, "Surfing's one of the few sports where the older you are, the more respected you become. The older surfers are our wise elders, our royalty, our legends." Right at that moment, the crowd erupts into applause, hoots, and cheers. Art and Erica turn their attention to what's going on. Up on stage, a singer grabs the microphone. A full-body close-up shot of the singer reveals a black woman dressed from head to toe in the traditional colorful African dress. She is absolutely stunning, and the crowd goes wild. She says the words, "Harambe!" The crowd goes wild again. The reggae band starts playing, and she starts singing in the most beautiful, sweetest, melodic voice you've ever heard. Her voice is so powerful, it melts all the hearts in the audience. She starts singing a rendition of the live version of Rita Marley's Harambe. Note, this song is to symbolize love, harmony, and world peace. It demonstrates the unity of races, cultures, ethnicities, and religions throughout the world. This is a call out to humanity, that if this small microcosm of a crowd can put aside their differences and become a people of one, then all of the world's people can come together as one. Humankind still has a chance. This is a very powerful song and a very powerful message. It is absolutely intoxicating and extremely romantic for everyone, especially for Art and Erica. A series of shots. Shot A, a close-up shot of the vocalist singing the first verse of the song, which talks about how the African people were scattered all around the earth. The people in power were hoping that they would disappear and waste away. But no matter how hard they tried, no matter what they said, the children would still sing Harambe. Shot B, the crowd dancing and listening to the song in peace and harmony. Shot C, a close-up shot of the vocalist singing the second verse of the song, which talks about the colors of the rainbow being the same colors of our skin. All the colors are together in harmony, all sailing in the same boat, which is the earth, all going down the same stream. And the children are still singing Harambe. Shot D, the crowd is grooving and smiling to the song. Shot E, a close-up shot of the vocalist who begins to talk to the crowd. She is explaining what Harambe means. Reggae singer. Harambe means working together, pulling together, reaching out to each other, caring for one another, sharing with each other. She starts to sing again. Reggae singer. I want to hear you say, hey, Harambe. The crowd repeats the chant back to the singer. Hey, Harambe. Shot F, a close-up of Art and Erica, caught up in the emotions of the romantically charged song and the crowd. They're chanting, looking at each other, and smiling romantically. Reggae singer. Hey, Harambe. Art and Erica. Hey, Harambe. Reggae singer. Let me hear you say. A close-up shot of Bruna chanting. Hey, Harambe. Reggae singer. The African way. A close-up shot of Joe and Molly chanting. Hey, Harambe. Reggae singer. And the children say. A close-up shot of Ledge chanting. Hey, Harambe. Reggae singer. Bob Marley say. A close-up shot of Devo chanting. Hey, Harambe. Reggae singer. Everyone say. Hey, Harambe. It's a complete love fest. Art looks at Erica and takes her by the hand as the crowd is still chanting. Shot G, an aerial shot of Art and Erica winding through the crowd, leaving the dance floor and heading to the beach at night. Exterior, beach, night. Art and Erica walk down the darkened beach. In the background, the band and the crowd can still be seen and the music can be heard playing, just more muted and quieter. In the foreground is a bonfire on the beach with people huddled around it. Art and Erica are walking by the fire when a shirtless surfer interrupts them. Surfer number 3. Artemis! Bro! Surfer number 3 looks at the huddled crowd of people and acknowledges Art's presence. Surfer number 3. Look, everybody, it's Artemis! He's come to join the sacrifice! A close-up shot of the bonfire reveals a burning surfboard in the middle of the flames. Erica looks at Art in an extremely confused and shocked manner. Erica, a sacrifice? Art, yeah, a surf sacrifice. Whenever there's no waves for an extended period of time, surfers become so desperate, they're willing to sacrifice a surfboard and other prized possessions, such as a bar of wax or old surfer magazines, flip-flops. You name it. It's an offering in hopes of ending the flat spell. Erica starts to chuckle at Art in disbelief. Erica, you're not serious. Art, oh, we're very serious. Or maybe it's just an excuse to have a party and burn off some of the frustrations of no surf. Art, with a magical twinkle in his eyes, looks at Erica. Art, here's the funny thing. More often than not, the waves pick up after a surf sacrifice, and the flat spell ends. So I say, on with the sacrifice! The crowd begins to cheer and hoot. Erica cracks up laughing, and right at that moment, surfer number 3 interrupts. Surfer number 3. Hey, Artemis, we need your underwear to appease the wave gods. It's the only way the surf will pick up. Art, can't help you. I haven't worn underwear in at least 5 years. Surfer number 3, dude, contribute something or we're revoking your surfing license. Just then, Erica gets a giant smile on her face, looks at surfer number 3, and then looks at Art. She discreetly slips off her underwear from beneath her dress and throws it into the fire. The whole crowd erupts into cheers and hoots. Art proudly looks at Erica, smiles, and starts hooting. Surfer number 3, yes, we're going to get waves for sure. The crowd shakes Erica's hand and pats Art on the shoulder. Art and Erica leave the bonfire and head towards the quietness of the sand dunes. Exterior, sand dunes, night. Art and Erica are sitting on top of a sand dune looking at the ocean. The moon's reflection is glimmering off the surface. Erica, that's the craziest thing I've ever done in my life. I think the ocean is having an effect on me. Art, that's the spirit. Art and Erica are having a good time reliving the moment that just happened. Art, so do you go to college here? Erica, yeah, this is my first year. How did you know? Art, I've seen you around campus a few times, and from the first time that I saw you, I wanted to meet you. Erica, that's too funny, because I've seen you around also. What's your major? Art, business. Erica, business? I would have picked you for a marine biology major. Art, everyone thinks that. I create quite a spectacle walking into a finance class, sunburnt, wet hair, and flip-flops. Erica, why business? Art, because one day I want to own a surf shop and be just like Joe. Erica, what year are you? Art, I'm a junior. 2 more years and I'm off to the islands. Erica, the islands? Art, yes. Ever since I started surfing, it's been an obsession of mine to find out just how big of a wave I can surf. That's where some of the largest waves in the world break. The islands are calling me in a way that I must go. Art snaps out of his feelings of grandeur and focuses back on Erica. Art, what about you? What's your major? Erica, marine biology. It's Art's turn to look surprised. Erica starts laughing. Erica, got you. Actually, my major is architecture. From a little kid, I've always wanted to design buildings. I get so immersed in the structures that touch the sky and are in sync with their surroundings. I view architecture as an art form. Art, an art form? A building? Erica, absolutely. Buildings are a mirror of society that reflect the great achievements of that time period. Here's a classic example. What pops into your head when I say ancient Greece? Art, I think of mythical stone buildings with giant towering columns, the places where Greek gods lived. Erica, exactly. Is that architecture or is that art? Art, Erica, I'm going to create buildings of wonder. I'm going to sculpt the structures that reflect the zeitgeist of this very moment, in this very time we're living in. The landscape is my canvas. Art, and the ocean is my canvas. Erica, we're very similar, you and me. We're just painting with different brushes. Art holds Erica's hand, and they look at each other as if they are kindred spirits. Erica, what's the world going to do with us? Art, 2 crazy dreamers. They both laugh. Art embraces Erica and kisses her. After they have kissed, Art looks up to the stars. Art, what a beautiful night. Erica gazes at Art, who is still looking at the stars. Erica, a beautiful night indeed. Chapter 12, Reptile Brothers. Exterior, ocean, day. The waves are waist to chest high and peeling perfectly. Bruna and a few other surfers are sitting in the lineup. They are all on shortboards. Art and Devo paddle up on old beat-up longboards that are relics from the 1960s. Devo has a cowboy holster and toy guns on his hip. Note, Devo still wears the modified swim goggles with extremely thick lenses even while he's surfing. All the surfers are playing and joking around. Surfer number 4. Well, if it isn't Longboard Larry and Amazing Mike. Didn't you guys see the sign on the beach? No tankers allowed. Devo in his best Clint Eastwood impression. The party's over, boys. You might as well paddle in. You don't stand a chance when we break out the reptile boards. Surfer number 4. What? That's ridiculous. Devo pulls out his toy guns. We will shoot anybody who gets in our way. Surfer number 4. That's ridiculous. Devo. Is it? Just watch us. There's no escaping the wrath of the Reptile Brothers. Art. Yeah, longboards rule. Bruna. We'll see about that. It's on. Longboarders versus shortboarders. The rivalry begins. A series of shots. Shot A. Devo drops in on surfer number 4. Devo shows his classic longboard skills. He stylishly cross-steps to the nose of the board, hangs 10, arches his back in a perfect curve, and raises his arm in the air. While on the nose, Devo sees Ledge paddling out. Devo pulls his guns out of the holster and starts shooting at Ledge. He then blows on the tip of his guns like they did in the Wild West. Ledge's face has a very perplexed look. Ledge cannot compute what has just happened and continues paddling out. Shot B. Art drops into the next wave. He rides the longboard in classic 1960s fashion with style and grace. He cross-steps to the nose of the surfboard, crouches down, stretches out one leg, and does a cheater 5. He stands back up and cross-steps to the tail of the board. The wave pitches out. Art does a head dip and finishes by kicking out of the wave. Shot C. Devo drops into a wave fin first. The longboard does a complete 180-degree spin. Devo regains his balance, trims down the wave, and does a 360-degree spin with his body. He cross-steps to the nose and finishes his ride with a Quasimodo. Shot D. Devo drops in on another surfer. The surfer wipes out. Bruna has had enough of Devo and Art's shenanigans. She drops in on Devo, making him nosedive into the water. Art sees this, and now it's his turn to drop in on Bruna. Bruna and Art start dueling it out. They trade positions on the wave, trying to make each other fall. They are both laughing and giggling. Bruna wins by making Art wipe out. She raises her arm in victory and shouts, "Girls rule!" Cut 2. A close-up of Art's surfboard washing up on the beach all by itself. Art swims in and retrieves the longboard. He sees Erica in the water and paddles towards her. She grabs onto the surfboard. Art. Nothing beats a good longboard session. Erica. I never realized how different longboarding is compared to shortboarding. I love all the tricks you do. Art. Yeah, there's no better feeling than trimming down the wave on a longboard. My goal is to surf exactly like they did in the 50s and 60s. So if someone from that era took a time machine to the present and they saw me riding this old log, they'd say, "Yep, nothing's changed after all these years." Art notices Erica looking at the board. Art, do you want to give it a shot? Erica, what? Go surfing? Art, sure, why not? It's easier on a longboard. Erica looks apprehensive. Art, come on, it's a nice calm day out there. Erica's apprehension turns into a smile of excitement, which infects Art's face in the same fashion. Erica, okay. Art, all right, let's go. Erica is clumsily paddling the board while Art helps her through the small breakers. Art is standing in about waist to chest high water holding onto the surfboard. Erica is trying to sit on the board and keep her balance, but she keeps falling off. They are both laughing. A waist-high wave approaches. Art grabs a hold of the board while Erica is lying on it. Art, paddle, paddle, paddle! Erica begins paddling. Art pushes the longboard as the wave approaches. Erica and the longboard take off. She rides it on her belly for a while, then begins to stand up and shakily rides the wave for a few seconds. Erica, woohoo! Woo! I'm surfing! I'm surfing! Art, yeah! Go! Go! Erica, woohoo! She loses her balance and falls, disappearing into the whitewater. Cut 2. Art and Erica are in the water holding onto the longboard. Art is on one side and Erica is on the other side. They are looking at each other face to face. Erica, I can't believe I was actually surfing. Art, yeah, you did it. Erica, what an unbelievable feeling. I can see why you love surfing so much. They both gaze into each other's eyes and smile. Chapter 13, Romance at Sunset. Exterior, waterway, sunset. A small john boat is motoring down the waterway. Old beach houses on stilts surround both sides of the bank. The sun is setting and the wind is still, creating a mirror image reflection of the beach houses onto the water. The john boat approaches the dock. As it gets closer, the image becomes clear that it is Art. He is carrying flowers in one hand and steering the boat with the other hand. Erica is on the dock, eagerly awaiting Art's arrival. Art pulls up to the dock. A look of love and a smile breaks out on his face. He ties the boat off and steps out with flowers in hand. Art, along the way, I picked you these flowers. Erica takes the flowers from Art's hand. Erica, oh, they're beautiful. Erica embraces Art and gives him a kiss. There is a loving aura in the air. After the kiss, Erica and Art walk down to the dock to her house, which leads to the porch where there is some outdoor furniture, a hammock, and a dinner table set up for two. Erica, I thought since it was going to be such a beautiful night, we could eat outside. Art, sounds killer to me. Erica, yeah, nothing's better than a can of beans out on the porch. Art, I'm deeply touched. No one's ever gone to such great lengths for me before. As they walk down the dock, Art and Erica are laughing. Art puts his arm around Erica. Cut 2. Erica has cooked a gourmet dinner for Art. They are eating by candlelight out on the deck. Art, I remember seeing you at the party, thinking nothing in the world could be more beautiful than you. Erica, I thought the same thing. I was hoping we were going to bump into each other, but you mysteriously disappeared. Art, I had some thinking to do. Changes in life sometimes are a tough pill to swallow. Art pauses and reflects on those changes. Art, so I went surfing. Erica, in the middle of the night? Art, yeah, I just needed to get in the water. I do some of my best thinking sitting in the ocean and feeling the pulses of life. I'm at peace when I'm surfing. Erica, I totally understand. I have places like that too. Places that clear my head. Art, where? Erica fixates on her hands as they start forming curves in the air. Erica, I have this fascination with curved lines. I know this building that has the most beautiful curves I've ever seen. The way it silhouettes on the skyline is breathtaking. It fits seamlessly within the surroundings, as if it was meant to be there. It overwhelms me to the point where I lose track of time and space. Art, it almost sounds like you're describing a wave. Erica, yeah, I can see the similarities. Erica has an epiphanic moment and drops her hands hard on the table. Erica, oh my gosh, that's it! Art, what? Erica, I can use the waves as a source of inspiration in my architecture. The curves, the horizon, the reflection of light. I can see it. It's all right here. It's all right in front of me. Art holds Erica's hand. Art, you're amazing. They both gaze into each other's eyes as the candlelight reflects off their faces. Dissolve 2. Exterior, beach, day. Art, Devo, and Bruna and a few other surfers are hanging around the picnic table. Some of the surfers are sitting on the table while others are standing. There are surfboards strewn everywhere. Bruna, I got a phone call from Via last night. She won the Bells Beach contest in Australia. The group of surfers all become excited and cheer. The exception is Art, who sits silently, staring out into the ocean. Group of surfers, stoked! Killer! You! Bruna, she beat out Frida Zamba in the finals on what was said to be one of the best heats of the season, if not of all time. They were battling it out, matching each other wave for wave. Frida would drop into a wave and totally annihilate it like no one has ever seen before. Well, that is, until Via would drop into the next wave and match her move for move. One wave, the judge gave Frida a perfect score, only to have Via follow up with a perfect score. The match was so close and intense, no one could tell who won. After the score sheets were added up, Via won by a single point. Devo, you local girl turned surf hero. Bruna, with only 2 more contests to go in the season, she's broken into the top 10 and has a strong hold on 8th place. Everyone's saying she's going to get Rookie of the Year. Devo, and just think, we all grew up surfing with her. Devo high-fives a fellow surfer, and everyone is feeling proud. Art still sits quietly, staring out to the ocean. Chapter 14, The Wave House. A Passage of Time. Sade. Art and Joe are at the Cape, looking at 10-foot waves peeling off the river mouth. Shot B. Via is at the Pro Surfers season-end banquet. She is holding up a big trophy that says Rookie of the Year. The audience is applauding and the cameras are flashing. Shot C. Erica is showing Art a beautiful building with curves in it. She is using hand gestures and pointing to the sky. Shot D. Art and Erica are laying in the grass, holding hands and looking at the curved building. Shot E. Art is surfing a 6-foot wave with no one out in the water. Shot F. Via is surfing a 6-foot wave in a contest. Shot G. Erica is showing a college architect project. The building model has curves that resemble waves and swells. Shot H. Art and Erica are sitting on surfboards in the water. It is dark. They are looking up to the full moon and the stars. Shot I. Via has reached celebrity status and is signing autographs at a surf shop. One of the kids hands her a surfer magazine with her picture on the cover. A caption reads, "Via Franco clinches world title in her second year on the tour." Via reflects on the picture, smiles proudly, and signs it. Shot J. Art is dressed up in a black gown and cap. He is holding up his college diploma in one arm, and the other arm is around Erica. In the background is a huge banner that says, Class of 1990. Fade 2. The current year is 1990, and we pick up where we left off in the story. The Wave House. Interior, Erica's living room, day. Art and Erica are sitting on a couch holding hands. In the other corner of the room are some travel bags stuffed tightly with clothes and surfboards wrapped in a board bag. It's a very solemn atmosphere in the house. They are both trying to put the event that's about to transpire in the back of their minds. Erica, ever since we first got together, I knew this day was going to come. It just seems like 2 years was too far away to worry about. And here it is. The day you moved to the islands. Erica embraces Art. I don't want you to go. A tear runs down her cheek. Art, you've made me the happiest guy on the earth. I love you so much, and nothing makes me feel sadder than leaving you. But I made a promise to myself that I would not stay back for any reason. Art with an unwavering look of determination on his face. Art, I just have this fear. If I compromise on my dream, it's going to lead to compromising other things in my life. And next thing you know, I'll be 50 years old, living inland with a big beer gut watching a football game on TV and remembering when I used to surf. To me, that's my worst nightmare. Erica, I know, but it still doesn't stop the ache in my heart. Art, I'm going to miss you so much. Art embraces Erica. Erica reaches over the couch and picks up an architectural model of a miniature house in the shape of a wave. The miniature house is very small and fits in the palm of her hand. She gives it to Art. Erica, I made this for you. It's your perfect little beach house. Art, it's beautiful. It's our little beach house. Maybe one day you can build it and we can live there. Erica, I would love that. Art and Erica hug again. It's a despairing moment for both of them. Erica breaks free from the long embrace. Erica, it's time. We've got to go to the airport. Dissolve 2. Interior, car, day. Erica is driving Art to the airport. It's a very sad time for both of them. Neither one is talking. Art is coming to the realization that he is leaving behind the place he grew up, his friends, his family, and the girl he loves. He is taking it hard. Erica drives to the beach for a final goodbye to the waves. They get out of the car and walk to the beach. Joe, Devo, Ledge, and Tuna are all hanging out at the picnic table waiting for him. Art gets a bit choked up and tries to smile. Ledge walks up to Art and hands him a fashion illustration. It's a colored sketch of Via, Art, Joe, Devo, Tuna, and Ledge, all hanging out on the beach with their surfboards. Ledge, this is so you don't forget about us. Art takes the illustration, looks at it, and gets choked up. Art, it's all my friends. It's a masterpiece. Ledge, every surfer dreams of moving to the islands. Few have the guts to do it. You're making it happen. We're all so proud. Art looks at everyone with tears down his face. Art, you're the best friends that anyone could have. It's not going to be the same without you. Art walks over with his arms wide open and corrals everyone together in a giant group hug. Everyone has tears coming down their faces. Dissolve 2. Interior, plane, day. Art looks out the airplane window. All he can see is miles and miles of blue ocean. He turns back in his seat and continues to write a letter on a food tray in front of him. The miniature wave house is also on the food tray. A narration of the letter takes place. Dear Erica, as I sit on this plane, it all of a sudden hits me that I'm headed for a strange land that I've never seen before, and I'm leaving behind someone I dearly love. It puts a very hollow feeling in my stomach as I get closer and closer to my destination. As I face the overwhelming challenge ahead of me, I say to myself, what am I doing here? It's going to be just me, my bags, and my surfboards. Will I be able to make new friends? Will the local surfers accept me? Will I be able to find a place to live or even get a job? What about the friends I've left behind? My family, my sense of being, and especially you. Will I just be another fading memory, slowly to be forgotten? All of this because I have to find out what my limitations are in the surf and in the ocean. My whole life I've dreamt about it. Today it's coming true. And all I know is my heart feels empty and is aching for you. And I think to myself, is it worth it? Captain Voiceover, the plane will be landing in approximately 15 minutes. The weather is partly cloudy and 78 degrees. I hope you've enjoyed your flight on Moteri Airlines. Art finishes writing his letter. I love you. Exterior, airport day. Art's plane lands on the tarmac. A series of shots. Shot A. Art is strapping his surfboards on top of the rental car. There are palm trees and tropical foliage in the background. Shot B. Art is heading down a 2-lane road. The ocean is on the right side, and the green tropical mountains are on the left side. Shot C. Art is standing at the edge of a vertical cliff that is about 200 feet above sea level. From this vantage point, he has a 180-degree view of the jungle-like cliff that leads directly to the clear blue ocean. To the right is a black lava rock point, which also ends at the ocean. The crystal clear water is dotted with brown coral reefs, which are sharply contrasted with the white sandbars that lie in between them. A little further offshore, the waves are breaking perfectly over the reef. The waves have 6 to 10 foot faces, and there are about 5 people out. Art is watching them surf. Shot D. Art, with a surfboard under his arm, is walking down a shady trail on a very steep cliff. The cliff has been totally overrun by tropical vegetation, which blocks out any view of the sky or the ocean. Occasionally, there will be a small opening in the densely green vegetation that brings in a ray of sunlight and a view of the blue ocean below. The trail becomes steeper, and man-made steps are carved into the trail. Art carefully walks down the steps until he reaches a spot where the cliff goes completely vertical. A rope is attached to a tree that dangles over the side. He grabs the rope, turns around, precariously balances himself with the surfboard under his arm, and descends down the rope. At the bottom, the trail subsides to a flatter grade. Art is walking along the shady trail as it leads out to the sunlit beach. He puts his surfboard down underneath a shade tree, takes his shirt off, darts to the beach, straps his leash on, and paddles out to the lineup. The water is so clear, all the intricacies of the reef can be seen underneath him as he paddles. Shot E. Art is sitting on his surfboard in the lineup. He's taken in the whole scenery. In the foreground, he sees the sea-level perspective of the cliff and the black lava rocks. The waves have 8 to 10 foot crystal clear faces and are breaking left. A set approaches, and he catches his first wave in the islands. He drops into a 10-footer and screams down the bottom, setting up for a backside off the lip. He does the off the lip, drives down the face, does another backside off the lip, and pulls out of the wave. Art starts paddling back out to the lineup with an extremely stoked expression on his face as a local Polynesian girl drops in on a wave in the foreground. She rides the wave with style and grace. Shot F. An aerial shot of Art surfing a wave to perfection. It shows the color of the clear blue water, the black lava rocks, and the green tropical cliffs. Dissolve 2. Art is sitting at the lineup. 2 local Polynesian surfers are mumbling in pidgin English. They are looking and laughing at Art. Art has a look of complete happiness as he absorbs his new magical surroundings. He has no idea they are talking to him. Local number 1 stares Art down. Local number 1, "Hey, howly!" Art does not hear him. He is still in his state of utter joy. Local number 1, "Hey, howly! I'm talking to you!" Art hears him this time and snaps out of his nirvana. Local number 1, "Either go inside or go outside, but get out of my face." The 2 local surfers start laughing at Art. Not quite knowing what to do, Art smiles and paddles further outside. A set of waves come in, and the 2 local surfers scurry to catch them. The local surfers each catch a wave and completely annihilate it. From Art's perspective, he sees the back of the wave where the local surfers are appearing and disappearing each time they do an off the lip. Another local surfer, Kimo Pakala, paddles up to Art. Kimo, "Hey, don't worry about them, brothers. Just stay out of the way and you'll be fine." Art, "Thanks." Kimo, "No worries, brah." Another set of waves come in, and Chemo takes off on the first one and fires down the line. Art takes off on the second one and follows suit. Exterior, beach, day. Art walks up to a shade tree where his clothes are and sets a surfboard down on an exposed root. Chemo is sitting nearby, and Art walks over to Chemo. Art, I hope you guys can handle another surfer on the island. Chemo, hey brah, there's always room for a good surfer like you. Chemo extends his hand, and Art shakes it. My name is Chemo. Glad to meet you. I'm Art. Chemo, you did the right thing by not causing a ruckus with those two mokes, 'cause they pound Hallie's heads and eat them for breakfast. Art, yeah, I've heard stories about guys like that. Chemo, believe every one of those stories and don't forget them. Hey, but don't think we're all like that. Most of us are filled with plenty of aloha. So, how long are you visiting? Art, I got here a few days ago, and I'm planning on living here permanently. Chemo, welcome. You found a place to live? Art, no, not yet. Chemo, a good friend of mine needs a roommate. I give you the number. Art, thanks. Chemo, there's also a bulletin board next to the grocery store. There's all sorts of ads for getting jobs, cars, and surfboards. If it's for sale, it's on that board. Art, cool. Chemo gets a stick and writes the telephone number and the name Aiko in the sand. He picks up his surfboard, walks to the path, and disappears into the jungle. Chapter 15. Aiko. Exterior house day. Art walks up to the front door of a house that has the typical Polynesian architecture. There are banana plants and papaya trees in the front yard. Art knocks on the door, but no one answers. He waits for a second and knocks again. Still, no answer. As he heads to the car, he notices a figure at the end of the cliff point sitting down with a surfboard. Art looks at her and starts walking towards her. Aiko Matsuda is sitting cross-legged with her surfboard on her lap. Aiko is Japanese. She is one of the premier shapers of big wave surfboards on the island. She is sitting at the end of the cliff point on a plot of green grass. Aiko is sanding one of the fins on her surfboard. The cliff point is about 30 feet wide and drops vertically 250 feet straight down. Both sides of the cliff have small U-shaped coves filled with crystal clear water and coral reefs. Art walks up to Aiko. Art is checking out the unbelievable view as Aiko sits there, sanding away. Aiko is sanding and looking at her surfboard. She knows Art is next to her, but has not looked up at him yet. Aiko, killer view, eh? Art, unbelievable. I've never seen anything like it. Art looks around some more, then looks down at Aiko. Art, what's that you're doing? Aiko looks up at Art. Aiko, there's not enough foil in the fins. See? Aiko lifts the board up and points to an outside edge of the fin. Art crunches down to take a look. Aiko, fins are one of the most important components of a surfboard, but one of the least understood. You can have the best shaped surfboard, put a set of crappy fins on it, and that board will ride like a dog. Art, I never thought about that. Aiko, most surfers haven't. Art, what size board is that? Aiko, it's a 910 Rhino Chaser. I shaped it for the upcoming big wave season. Aiko hands him the tail of the surfboard, and Art picks it up and begins to scrutinize it. Aiko, this board will catch waves that you don't want to get into. Art, yeah, I believe that. Aiko, see the rails? Art flips the board on its side and looks and feels the rails. Aiko, they're a bit thicker. It breaks over a quarter-mile out, and the wind tends to chop the face up. The chop will bounce off the rails. Plus, you need lots of length since the wave is so relentless and fast. When it's 30-foot faces, you've got to get speed up to make the 20-yard closeout sections. Or die. Art gives her a bit of an astonished look, then looks back at the board. Art, I would think a board made for massive waves like that would have a thicker stringer. Aiko, no, because at a certain point, you want the board to snap in half. Art, what? Aiko, that's right, snap. A perfect example is this one guy who was surfing 35-foot waves. He was making a bottom turn as the lip of the wave crashed down on him. The power of the wave smashed him on his board and broke his leg in half near his hip. As he surfaced, the last thing he remembered was his foot hitting him on the side of his head. The guy almost drowned. Now, if his board would have snapped in half on impact, the whole situation would have never happened. Art hands the surfboard back to Aiko. Art, do you think you could shape me one of these? Aiko, I don't shape boards for just anybody, especially boards made for waves of this magnitude. When you're talking about surfing giant waves, you're talking a special breed of person. That person is not necessarily the best shredder on the beach. Instead, that person has the determination to drop in on a huge wave, look death straight in the eyes, and charge it. It's not made for someone who comes over here for a month just to say they surf the islands. Art, well, I'm planning to stay here permanently. In fact, I'm looking for someone named Aiko who lives in that house over there. Art points at the house he just left. Aiko, oh, you must be Art, right? Art, that's right. It's nice to meet you. I'm Aiko. Aiko shakes Art's hand. Aiko, Kimo said you're a pretty good surfer and that you give off a good vibe. Kimo is a well-respected surfer and a great judge of character. So if you want the room, it's yours. Art, cool. I'll take it. Since Kimo has given me such an outstanding reference, does that mean you'll shape me a rhino chaser like this? Aiko, nope. Not till you prove to me you've got what it takes. Art, well, you better start working on it, 'cause I know I've got it. They both look at each other and laugh. Chapter 16. The Board. Interior, kitchen, morning. Art is eating a bowl of cereal at a small kitchen table. Beside him is a window that looks out to the ocean. There are huge swells stacked to the horizon. Aiko walks into the kitchen. Are you ready? Art, yeah, where are we surfing? Art looks out the window at the swells lining up like corduroy to the horizon. Art, the swell's cooking! Art shoves the last 3 bites of cereal in his mouth. He gets up from the table and throws the bowl in the sink. Art, talking with his mouth full. Let me grab my board and we're out of here. Aiko, forget about the board. You don't need it. Art, what do you mean I don't need it? It's firing! Aiko, we've got all day to surf. Right now, there's more important things to do. Art looks at Aiko in disbelief. Art, what? After all these times you told me to blow off this and blow off that to go surfing? And now when the waves are cooking, there's more important things to do? Aiko, slightly irritated with a grin. Yup. Art begins to mutter to himself as he follows Aiko out the door. The first big swell of the season, and she says there's more important things to do. I had to make friends with a bunch of surfers who have their priorities all mixed up. All I've heard for the last 7 months is this is the islands, and surfing always comes first. Aiko, with a smirk on her face, pops Art in the back of the head, sending his hair flying in all directions as they walk out the front door. Aiko, quit your whining and get in the car. Art, I'm telling you, the priorities are all screwed up. Not going surfing. Exterior, mountain trail, day. Art, Aiko, and Kimo are walking up a very steep trail. There is green tropical foliage everywhere. The trail runs up the middle of the ridge with only about 10 feet separating each side of the steep mountain. Kimo, we're almost there, right around this corner. A clearing in the foliage produces a magnificent view. They're at an elevation of about 1,500 feet. The view is one of mountainous jungle, square tracts of taro fields, and a giant U-shaped bay. Inside the bay are patches of whitewater. Art, Aiko, and Kimo look out and instantly become mesmerized. Kimo, here it is. This is the spot where you can see the wave work all its magic. Art, unreal. Aiko points to the right-hand side of the bay. Aiko, see that section of whitewater at the tip? Art, yeah. Aiko, that's where the wave starts when it's big and peels for over 200 yards. See that calm area where no whitewater is breaking on the left-hand side? Art strains to find it by looking deeply into the horizon. Art, yeah, I see it. Aiko, that's the safest place to paddle out. It's a very deep channel and never breaks in there. Plus, you can watch the wave peel right in front of you. You can see how big the sets are, devise your game plan on where you're going to line up, and how you're going to surf it. Kimo, it's at least 20 feet out there. Aiko, and 20 feet is about a 40-foot face. When it's that huge, you always have to watch out for any 25-foot rogue waves. At 25 feet, a giant wall of whitewater will break all the way across the mile-wide mouth of the bay, devouring anything in its path, including you. Kimo, the wave is a fast freight train right. When it gets sizable, you have to watch out for the 20-yard closeout sections. If you see a closeout section approaching, Kimo describes how to maneuver the wave with his hands. You will need to make a quick bottom turn, travel up to the top of the wave, and rock it down the face just in front of the lip. At this point, you will be free falling. You will be traveling at the same speed as the lip. It's the only way to make that section. If you don't do that, the wave will smash you to pieces. Aiko, the only other advice we can give you is don't drop in on anyone. Don't ditch your board unless everyone else ditches their board first. And finally, if you ever start to paddle for a wave, never, and I mean ever, chicken out. It's better to go over the falls on a 20-foot macker, snap your board to pieces, break your leash, black out from almost drowning, and have some grommet save your life than it is to pull out of a wave. The only way to gain respect on the island is to charge it. Now, if you promise me to do what I just told you and go out every time, no matter how big it gets, or how scared you are, or how close to death you may feel, because you will feel that way, I'll shape you that rhino chaser that you want. Art, with a serious face, looks at Aiko and Kimo. Art, I promise. Art shakes Aiko's hand, and Kimo puts his hand on top of theirs. Aiko, all right then, you've got yourself aboard. Chapter 17, Finger to the Man. Exterior, cityscape, day. Via in her paneled station wagon with the surfboard on the roof racks is driving down a city street with skyscrapers on each side. The station wagon pulls into a covered parking garage under a very tall building. Via gets out of the car, walks to the elevator, gets in, presses a button, and heads up. Interior, upscale, artsy office, day. Via enters the office, which reveals a wide open space. Its decor is super hip and super artsy. She walks up to the front desk, checks in, and is escorted by a hipster-looking model. There are models dressed in haute couture fashion of the early 90s, walking and hanging around. Via looks at the models in confused astonishment. The models look at her the same way. They are sizing Via up and even sneering at her total lack of fashion. Via is feeling like a fish out of water. A fashion photo shoot is happening as she walks past them. She is led to an office door. The model opens the door, lets Via in, and closes the door. Interior, office, day. Colton Hall is an older man who is trying to look much younger and hipper than he actually is. He is sitting behind a desk. Plastered all over the walls are pictures of him with fashion models by his side. Colton, Via, come in, have a seat. I'm glad to finally meet you. The phone is so impersonal. Via sits down on a plush leather couch. Colton comes from around the desk and sits next to her. Colton, congratulations on the world title. I've been following your surfing career. I just want to say, you're so beautiful out there surfing. Bikinis just love your body. Via with a perplexed look. Thanks. Colton, and that eyeliner. You're white hot. Everyone wants to look like you, to look like a surfer. This is why I contacted you. I'm developing a new line of surf clothing, and I want you to be the face of the new brand. Via, really? That sounds very cool. Colton, what I create is more than cool. My clothing designs have influence all around the world. Colton puts his hand on her knee. I'm going to make you a star. Via moves her leg away from his hand. Colton, you will be seen everywhere, on the cover of fashion magazines, TV interviews, and commercials. We will make appearances at all the international runways: New York, Milan, London, Paris. Via, what about the surfing tour? How am I going to do both? Colton, the schedule's intense. You'll probably have to miss at least 2 or 3 surf contests. Via, 2 or 3 contests? I can't win the world title if I miss those contests. You don't understand. This is what I've worked hard for my entire life. Colton, sacrifices have to be made. You don't understand. I'm going to make you a superstar, an icon. You'll make more money than you ever will surfing in those contests. In fact, I'm going to offer you a multi-million-dollar contract right now. Colton puts his hand on her knee again. Via abruptly moves her leg and is getting a bit uncomfortable. Via, have you ever surfed? Colton, no. What does that have to do with anything? I set the trends. I set the fashion. If I say the surfer look is in, the fashion world follows. You'll be in every department store in the nation. This line of clothes is going to make you famous. Via, well, being a surfer has a lot to do with it. You don't know anything about surfers, about the sport. You don't know anything about me and what that eyeliner symbolizes. I'm just a girl in a bikini to you. Colton, you know, there's plenty of girls out there that would do anything, I mean anything, to have a multi-million-dollar contract with me. Colton Hall. He puts his hand on her knee and moves it gently up her thigh. Colton, you need to grow up. Nobody throws away $1 million. This is how the industry works, honey. There's strings attached to everything, especially multi-million-dollar contracts. Certain perks I get to enjoy. A way for you to thank me, if you know what I mean. It's part of the deal. Colton's hand goes further up her leg and he tries to kiss her. Via becomes enraged and throws his hand off his leg. Via, listen here, you creep. Screw your clothesline and screw your $1 million. All I want to do is surf. She jumps up and flips a coffee table over. Colton is startled, even scared. He jumps up and cowardly backs into the corner. Via is seen yelling at him and moving her arms erratically. Via storms out of the office, still yelling at Colton. All of the commotion disrupts the photo shoot. The models are looking at her with confusion and horror. She looks at the models in pity. Via can be seen talking to the models, pointing into the office and making gestures that Colton is a scumbag. In the background is one female model in the corner, smiling uncontrollably. The model realizes that Colton the creep has finally gotten what he has deserved. A series of shots. Shot A. The paneled station wagon driving down the city streets with skyscrapers on each side. Shot B. The paneled station wagon in a rural setting heading back home to the beach. Shot C. The paneled station wagon driving past Bajan Surf Shop and parking at the beach. Shot D. Via is sitting at the picnic table, looking at the waves, alone, and talking to herself. Shot E. Ledge walks up, sits next to Via, who is crying, and consoles her. Ledge is listening to Via's troubles. Via's body language tells the whole story of what just happened. Shot F. Via is crying, and Ledge gives her a big hug. Shot G. Close-up of Ledge hugging Via. Tears and makeup are running down Ledge's face as Ledge can relate, better than anyone, to the pain Via is feeling. Ledge does not wish this kind of pain for anyone and cries for Via's injustice. Chapter 18, Special Guest. Exterior plumeria trees, day. Art is in a green field next to 3 plumeria trees that are completely covered in flowers. He is reaching up, picking the flowers, and placing them in a bag. Cut 2, exterior cliff point, day. Art is sitting in the green patch of grass at the end of the cliff point. He is stringing a lei with the flowers he had just picked and looking to the ocean. Cut 2. Interior, airport, day. Art is looking out a glass window as an airplane taxis up to the gate. Art is watching the passengers walking out of the hallway. He's eagerly awaiting the person he has come to meet. In the middle of the crowd, Erica appears. They both get big smiles, rush towards each other, and embrace. Erica, oh, Art! It's so good to see you! Art, I thought this day would never come! They embrace each other again. Then Art breaks away from her. He reaches into the bag and pulls out the lei he made on the cliff and puts it around her neck. Art, welcome to the islands. Art kisses her. Erica, these flowers are so beautiful. She brings the flowers to her face and smells them. Erica, they smell absolutely divine. You know I'm putty in your hands when you give me flowers. Art, good, because we've got 2 years to make up for. Caught up in the moment, they both stare at each other, smiling and not saying a word. Erica snaps out of the blissful trance. Erica, oh yeah, I've got some stuff here from Joe. Erica reaches into her handbag. Erica, Joe said you might need these, being on a desolate island and all. Erica pulls out a bathing suit and hands it to Art. Art holds them up and looks at them. Art, baggies! Stoked! Mine are so dry-rotted. Erica pulls out 2 t-shirts with the Bajan Surfboards logo on it. Erica, and he said, these are so you don't forget about us at home. Art, killer! Erica looks a little deeper in the handbag and pulls out a few more items, the first of which is a couple of leashes. Erica, and here's a few more things he said would come in handy. Let's see, how did he say it? Erica, imitating Joe's voice. Here's a couple of leashes, 'cause I know he snapped more than one. Art, and I have. Erica puts the leashes back in the bag and pulls out a handful of wax. Erica, imitating Joe's voice. Give him all this wax, so he'll quit bumming it off of everybody at the beach. Art, I do no such thing. She puts the wax back into the bag and pulls out 3 Velcro watch bands, each being a different color. Erica, imitating Joe's voice. Give him these Velcro watch bands, 'cause I know the one he's got on his wrist is about to fall off. Art looks down to his watch band, which is old, faded, and tattered. Art, he's right. Erica puts the watch bands back into the bag. She fishes around in the bag and pulls out a keychain with the Bajan Surfboards logo on it, and a key is attached to it. Erica, and finally this. Art, a key? Erica, he wouldn't give me an explanation. He just told me to give it to you. Art, that's odd. Erica, maybe it's a key to a buried treasure chest. Art, or better yet, maybe it's a key to your heart. Erica, I don't think so. It's going to take a bigger key than that to unlock this heart. They both start laughing. Erica puts the baggies and the t-shirt back in the handbag. Art, let's get out of here. There's so much I want to show you. Excited, Erica hugs Art and kisses him on the cheek. Erica, I can't wait. Dissolve 2. Exterior, Cliff Point, sunset. Art and Erica are walking to the edge of the cliff point behind the house at sunset. They arrive at the grassy patch at the end of the cliff and sit down. Art, well, what do you think of the island so far? Erica, it's wonderful. I never thought there could be so much beauty on one small island. Art, you haven't seen nothing yet. Just wait till you see the places I'm going to take you to. I thought for starters, we could go down to this cove tomorrow. Art points down to the U-shaped cove. He becomes a little more excited and starts giving detailed descriptions with his hands as he looks down to the cove. Art, the tide's going to be so low that the tops of the coral reefs will be sticking out of the water, and you, captivated by Art, Erica sits there smiling at him, not paying attention to the cove or the hand descriptions. Instead, she just gazes at Art, who is clueless to her captivation. Art, you can actually walk on them. The cool part is there'll be tidal pools full of tropical fish. One time, I even found an octopus. And we can go shell collecting." Erica, smiling, leans over, starts kissing him, and begins to interrupt his explanation. "Art, but if the creature's still inside the shell, you'll have to throw it back. Then there's Art begins to stutter and stammer. He turns his head and looks at Erica, who is smiling and giggling. Her joyfulness is contagious, and he starts smiling and giggling with her. They both begin to kiss. A series of shots. Shot A. Art and Erica are snorkeling in the clear blue water. They are surrounded by coral reefs and tropical fish. Shot B. They are hiking to a 1,000-foot waterfall. At the base of the waterfall is a giant pool. Art and Erica, holding hands, jump in the water and go for a swim. Shot C. They are having a romantic dinner at an open-air restaurant that overlooks the mountainous cliffs, plunging into the ocean. The sun is setting with brilliant gold, green, and blue colors colliding with one another. Shot D. Art cuts down a stalk of bananas in the jungle. He carries the bananas in one arm, and his other arm is around Erica. Shot E. In a red and white VW bus, they are driving down a deep red clay road, juxtaposed by bright green sugarcane fields surrounding them on all sides. Art and Erica are walking on a slab of black lava rocks. On one side are vertical green cliffs. On the other side of the lava rocks is the crystal blue ocean. They are heading to a saltwater pond that has been trapped by the rocks. They are both standing next to the lava pond, which is adjacent to the ocean. Art is on a rock and strips down to his bathing suit. He pulls out of a bag 2 pairs of swim goggles and hands a set to Erica. Art, here, put these on. Erica, swim goggles? What for? Erica, in bewilderment, watches Art put the goggles on his head and fits them to his eyes. He looks goofy with them on, but at the same time, sexy. Art looks at Erica. Art, trust me, put them on. Erica, okay. Erica begins to strip down to her bikini. Art adjusts his swim goggles one last time, steps on a rock at the edge of the pond, and in a meditative state, dives in. He sails through the water as if he's flying, and bubbles are coming off his body. Art glides to the surface, takes another breath, and goes underwater. Art watches Erica dive in as she glides through the saltwater pond. Erica encounters a multitude of colorful tropical fish that have been trapped in the pond. She swims underwater, looking at all the fish and the algae-covered lava rocks. Erica comes up for a breath and is totally amazed. She looks over to Art. Erica, I've never seen anything more beautiful in my life. Each spot you take me to is prettier than the last. You've been a wonderful tour guide these past few weeks. Art, well, I figured I'd save the best spot for last. Art dives underwater, swims by a bunch of tropical fish, and up to Erica. He surfaces, takes a breath of air, takes off his goggles, and embraces Erica. Erica takes off her goggles and embraces Art. Art, I've never seen you more beautiful than you are right now. I love you so much. Erica, oh, Art, I love you too. They look into each other's eyes and begin to kiss. The kiss turns passionate. All of a sudden, while they're kissing, Erica begins to cry. She stops kissing, continues crying, and hugs Art. Art, what's the matter? Erica, I'm gonna miss you so much. I just started getting used to living my life without you. And then I come over here for 2 weeks, and this is like we were never apart. And tomorrow I'll be back on that plane, alone and without you. It's as if you've died, and all I'm left with is your memories. It took me a year to get over it the first time you died in my life, and now I'm going to have to do it all over again. It just hurts so much. I can't keep doing this. Erica gets out of the water, and Art follows. Erica wraps a towel around her, and Art dries off and puts his shirt on. Erica, when are you going to live a normal life and leave this place? Stop surfing, come back home and get a real job. It's time to grow up and make something of yourself. Erica looks at Art in an exciting yet pleading manner. Erica, we can do it together. Make a life together. Art, what you call normal, I see as claustrophobic. Commuting an hour to work, stuck in an office, clocking in and clocking out, never seeing the light of day. Repeat, day after day, year after year, decade after decade. It's a never-ending treadmill. Art looks at Erica in an exciting yet pleading manner. Art, once you graduate, you can stay here with me. I can show you what's normal. We can have a beautiful life right here. I know we can. I've seen it. I can show you families that have done it. We can build a life here and live in the wave house. Erica lets go of Art's hand and sits on a lava rock. Erica, what would I do here? Architecture is my calling, my passion. I want to build buildings, build cultural institutions, build centers of art for people to immerse themselves in. I would rot here. Art. And I would rot in your world. Art looks out to the ocean in a deep, sad gaze. All I want to do is surf. Erica, this is our Achilles heel. Neither one of us are willing to compromise. Erica looks into Art's eyes with deep sadness. Our passions, our dreams are stronger than our love. Art puts his head down in sadness. We'll always be painting with different brushes. Dissolve 2. Art is sitting on a cliff near the airport looking out into the ocean. He has a sad look on his face. As he's sitting there, a plane flies overhead. Art looks up to the plane. Erica, with a somber look, stares out the window. She sees the coastline and a figure of a person sitting on a cliff. She can tell it's Art. Erica gradually watches the figure disappear as the plane flies further and further into the ocean. With a tear running down his cheek, Art gazes into the ocean as the plane slowly disappears on the horizon. Chapter 19, The Royal Pacific. A Passage of Time. Year 1992, 8.6 Brian Buckley, Hawaiian big wave gun, tri-fin, pintail, all white deck. Year 1993, 9.6 Dick Brewer, Hawaiian Big Wave Rhino Chaser, single fin, triple stringer, all red deck with the Dick Brewer Lay logo. Year 1994. 9.0 Jeff Bushman, Hawaiian Big Wave Sunset Beach Gun, tri-fin, pintail, red rails, and a yellow deck. Fade 2, the current year is 1995, and we pick up where we left off in the story, the Royal Pacific. Interior surfboard shaping shack day. Close-up of a small artificial Christmas tree with what appears to be snow falling on it. There is a strange sanding noise in the background. The camera pans out from the Christmas tree, revealing a shaping shack. The shack has rough-cut foam surfboard blanks stacked in the corner and iconic pictures of famous female surfers on the wall. Aiko is wearing a mask that filters out the dust particles. Her body and face are covered in a white foam dust, which contrasts beautifully with her black hair. Aiko is shaping a surfboard on a wooden stand. She lifts her mask up and blows the white dust off the surfboard, which floats onto the Christmas tree. Art enters through the door, puts on a mask, and walks over to Aiko. Aiko is still shaping away with a look of concentration on her face. Art starts eyeing the board over. Art, you've outdone yourself on this one. Who are you shaping it for? Aiko is still shaping away. Aiko, it's for Via Franco. She's going to be surfing in the Royal Pacific, and she wants me to shape her a big wave board. Art, I know you're stoked on that. Aiko, shaping a board for Via Franco? You better believe it. Aiko quits shaping, slides her face mask up to her forehead, and looks at Art. Art does the same thing with his face mask. Aiko, didn't she come from the same town as you? Art, yeah, we grew up surfing together. We were best friends, like two peas in a pod. Aiko, I didn't know that. How come you never said anything about her? Art, with a look of emptiness and hurt, stares at the Christmas tree. Art, I don't want to talk about it. Aiko, don't want to talk about it? She's your best friend. When was the last time you talked to her? Art, about 6 years ago, just before she turned pro. We had a falling out, and we haven't seen each other since. Aiko, 6 years? Are you kidding me? The both of you should be ashamed of yourselves. Art looks down in shame. Aiko, we have a saying in Japan. Walking with a friend in the dark is better than walking alone in the light. Aiko puts her dust mask back on, pushes Art away in disappointment, and continues shaping. Dissolve 2. Exterior, tropical beach, day. A large crowd has gathered at the beach. A scaffolding has been erected with a banner that reads, Royal Pacific Surfing Invitational. A wide world of sports sportscaster is talking into a camera next to the scaffolding. His yellow sports jacket and tie do not fit the island scene. The juxtaposition is plainly evident that he is completely out of place in the surfing world. Sportscaster, welcome to the Royal Pacific Surfing Invitational. This is one of the most prestigious women's events in surfing. Surfers covet this championship almost as much as the world title itself. Why? Because it proves who's the best big wave surfer. Pualani Hakea and Keone Akamai, with their hair wet and surfboards under their arms, walk by. A crowd of onlookers are following them. Sportscaster, And here are two of the favorites, Pualana Hakea and Keone Akamai. The Hawaiians dominate this event, and those women will be tough to beat. Via walks out of the water with Aiko's surfboard under her arm. The surfboard has Aiko's signature koi fish painted on the deck. She gets mobbed by the fans. Sportscaster. One of the few surfers who has a chance is 5-time world champ Via Franco. She has come close, but has never won the coveted Royal Pacific. Let's get a quick word with her. The sportscaster walks over to Via. Via, dripping wet, is signing autographs from a swarm of people around her. The sportscaster muscles his way in. He begins the interview with Via as she continues to sign autographs. Sportscaster. It looks like you were getting some solid rides out there. How do you feel going into the finals? Via. Well, in the past years, I haven't done so hot in this event. It takes a while to learn how to surf the power and size of these waves. To prepare myself, I focused the entire year surfing big wave spots such as Todos Santos in Mexico, Pico Alto in Peru, Mavericks in Northern California, and of course, I logged quite a bit of time in Hawaii. Plus, I was lucky enough to get a board shaped by Aiko Matsuda, who lives in the Outer Islands. She's one of the prominent big wave shapers of our time. Sportscaster. It sounds like you're prepared this season. Via. All I can say is nobody's going to take off deeper, drop in steeper, pull in longer, wipe out bigger, or charge it harder than myself. And when the Hawaiians realize this, you better strap on your seatbelts and enjoy the ride, because you're never going to see so many surfers going for broke. Via walks away from the sportscaster. The mob of people follow her, still trying to get autographs. Sportscaster. There's no doubt about it. Via has come to win. Stay tuned because the wide world of sports will be right here, giving you all the action. A series of shots. Shot A. Via, the two Hawaiian girls, and 3 other female surfers run into the water with surfboards in hand. They sprint paddle out to the breaking waves. Shot B. Via drops into a 15-foot face, does a sweeping bottom turn, heads for the inside section, and gets a stand-up tube ride. Shot C. Pualani drops into a wave and surfs it to perfection. Shot E. Via and Keone see an oncoming wave and maneuver for position. They are so close to each other that they are bumping rails and elbowing each other. Keone is also surfing on one of Aiko's boards. Keone gets position and drops into a huge tubing wave. She makes it out of the barrel and rides the wave flawlessly. Shot J. Via takes off on a huge wave and rides it with grace and style. She finishes the wave and paddles to the beach. Shot D. Via reaches the beach and becomes mobbed by her fans. She is dripping wet and signing autographs once again. Shot K. Via, elated, is on the stage holding up a giant trophy that says Royal Pacific Surfing Championship. The other surfers are on stage congratulating her. Chapter 20. Reunification. Exterior, house, day. Art pulls up to the house in his VW bus, gets out with his waiter uniform on, walks through the front yard, and opens the front door. Via and Aiko are sitting in the living room talking to each other. They look up as Art enters. Art and Via both have a stunned and surprised look on their faces. Art. Oh, man. Via. What's happening? Via. Not much. After winning the Royal Pacific, Aiko invited me over here to the outer islands for a little R&R. Art, with a smirk on his face, shifts his eyes over to Aiko. Aiko returns the glance with a placated look on her face. Art, Aiko, this is all you're doing, isn't it? Aiko, what? What are you talking about? Art pauses for a moment. It's uncomfortably quiet. Both Via and Aiko stare at Art, waiting for him to say something. Art looks at both of them and cracks a smile. Art, it's really good seeing you, Via. The tension eases and all three have big smiles. Art goes over to hug Via. Art, what a perfect time to show up. I'm sure you've heard the biggest swell of the season is about to hit. Via, yeah, Aiko's been telling me all about it. Art, it's gotten up to 12 feet in just the past 2 hours. It's going to be huge tomorrow. And there's no better person I'd rather be surfing with than you. Art and Via smile at each other. Via, same goes for me. Dissolve 2. Interior, Art's bedroom, before daybreak, dark. Art is lying in bed. He slowly wakes up and looks at the illuminated clock, which reads 4:47 a.m. Art rolls over and turns the light on. He stretches and groggily gets out of bed. He picks up a pair of baggies that are on the floor and puts them on. A t-shirt is lying on the top dresser. As he picks up the t-shirt, about 5 unopened letters with the miniature wave house are uncovered. He puts on the t-shirt and picks up the 5 letters. They are all addressed to Erica, and they are all stamped, Return to Sender. Art flips through the letters and lets out a big sigh. He puts the letters down and walks over to a window. He stares out the window, listening to the waves crashing. Art takes in a deep breath of fresh air and walks out of the room. Art walks into a dark living room. Art, wake up, you! He flicks on the light. He only sees a blanket and a pillow on a pull-out couch. Art realizes he's been had. Via got up earlier than him. He now has a defeated look on his face. Art, lazy bum, dang it! Art starts looking for Via and does not find her in the house. He walks outside and sees Via in the dark, putting her surfboard in the back of Art's bus. A huge grin comes upon Via's face when she sees Art. Art, with the look of a beaten puppy, shakes his head. Via, oh, don't mind me. I was just loading up the surfboards. I hope I didn't wake you. Art, no, you didn't. Via, I thought you island guys got up early. What was I thinking? I guess it's true what they say about island time. Nobody's in a hurry. Art, well, you know how it is when you catch waves of this quality all the time. You can afford to sleep in. Art and Via smile at each other and start to laugh. Via puts her arm around Art. Via, let's go surfing. Dissolve 2. As the sun rises, Art and Via are standing at the shoreline watching the huge 25 to 30-foot waves break. Via and Art are both standing there with their surfboards Aiko made for them. Art puts his surfboard under his arm and looks at Via. Via puts her surfboard under her arm and looks at Art. They both look at each other like gladiators ready for battle. They dive into the water with their surfboards and begin paddling to the lineup. In the right-hand foreground, they watch huge 25 to 30-foot waves peeling. pan out to an aerial shot of them paddling out and the big waves breaking in front of them on the horizon. A series of shots. Shot A. Art makes a huge drop, does a sweeping bottom turn, screams down the line, and ends it with an off the lip. Shot B. Via takes a late drop, does a sweeping bottom turn, heads up the middle of the wave, clears the closeout section, and does an off the lip. Shot C. Art paddles into a wave but gets pitched over the falls in a wipeout. He is underwater and struggles to the surface. At the surface, he gets a breath of air and regains his composure. He watches Via in the foreground drop into the next wave and shred it. The huge wave that Via is surfing is now approaching Art. Art takes a few breaths and dives underwater for the bottom. The white turbulence rushes over him. It goes dark for a split second, then light again. Art starts swimming for the surface. He comes up and takes a deep breath of air. Art watches Via further down the waves, surfing and kicking out. Switch 2. Via sees Art in the foreground, retrieving his board, getting on it, and paddling back out to the lineup. Shot D. Art redeems himself by taking off on another wave and surfing it flawlessly. Shot E. Via catches a wave and destroys it. Shot F. Art and Via are paddling back out to the lineup together. Shot G. Two surfers from the cliff vantage point watch Art catch a wave and surf it to perfection. Shot H. Art and Via paddle to the shoreline. Art and Via are sitting on a bluff full of tropical greenery. As they watch the waves roll in, Art is playing with a gecko that is nearby. Via, with a tranquil look, takes all the scenery in. She turns to Art. Via, it's good to see that some things never change. Art, what's that? The gecko scurries up Art's arm and then back down again. Via, oh, just that I can always count on you to get me out of the rat race and back to what surfing's all about. Art looks up at Via. Art, what surfing's all about? You're the world champ. You've done what every surfer can only dream of. Via, I'd trade places with you any day. Nobody owns you. You're free to surf wherever and whenever you want. You and the surf are one, in love with each other. Me? I'm a slave to surfing. Art, how can you say that? You wouldn't have gotten where you are today if you didn't love surfing. Via, there was a time that may have been true, but now my life is no more than an itinerary. Art, what do you mean by that? Via, well, tomorrow I fly to Minnesota of all places to do a promotional event at the Mall of America. Art, so what? Look at what you've accomplished. Your surfing has influenced and inspired thousands of girls around the globe. You have single-handedly changed the face of surfing forever. It's no longer a sport of kings. It's now a sport of kings and queens. Those girls look up to you. You're a role model for surfing and an inspiration to us all. Via longingly looks out to the ocean, watches a wave peel off the reef, and then looks at Art. Via, I was wrong when I said soul surfing was dead. Art gives Via a forgiving glance. Art, we were both wrong. I should have taken your dreams seriously. Instead, I was holding you back. I wanted us to stay 16 and be friends forever. You were right when you said, we aren't kids anymore. And now that I'm older, I feel like it's a never-ending battle that's just constantly dragging me away from the waves. Via, I know exactly what you mean. Life is pulling me away from the waves too when... Art and Via speaking the exact same words at the exact same time. All I want to do is surf. Art and Via look at each other as if their two individual universes have just collided and become one. Whatever differences they had in the past, instantly vaporized. The bond that has been broken for all these years has been put back together. Art and Via have become the closest of friends once again. Art turns away from Via for a moment and fiddles with his ear. He turns back around. The gecko has clasped its mouth on Art's earlobe and hangs there like an earring. Art looks at Via. Art, come on, let's get out of here. Via looks at Art and starts laughing. They get up and start walking down the trail with their backs facing the camera. The gecko is still hanging off of Art's earlobe, wiggling. Via looks at Art and the gecko clasping to his earlobe and laughs. Via, you're such a kook. They both start laughing as they walk away. Chapter 21. The Key. Exterior, backyard, day. Art is doing some ding repair on one of his surfboards in the backyard. There is a small patch of green grass that is surrounded by dense foliage such as banana plants and guava bushes. There are also plants that have leaves which are the size and shape of elephant ears. Birds are chirping and a cat is cruising around the yard. Art, with a look of concentration, is working on his surfboard when all of a sudden the phone rings. Art quits what he's doing and walks into the house to pick up the phone. Art, hello. Joe is on the other line. Hey, Art, it's Joe. What's the word? Art, hey, how's it, brother? Good to hear from you again. The summer tourist season's about over. When are you going to come visit? It's been 7 years since I left. Joe, well, it could be pretty soon. I've decided to retire. Art, retire? But you're the backbone of the surf community. You can't retire. Joe, that's where you step in. You're the only person who can keep the legacy of Bajan surfboards intact. Do you remember that key I gave you a few years back? Art, yeah. Joe, that's the key to Bajan surfboards. I want you to take over where I left off. Art, what? Really? But why me? Joe, ever since you were a small kid, I knew that one day I would hand over Bajan surfboards to you. Because you and I are exactly the same. We're just a generation apart. A new era of surfing is upon us, and it needs a younger person to usher it in appropriately. You are that person. Art. Wow. I'm honored that you hold me in such high regard. This is so much to take in. So many things are rushing through my head right now. I've got to think on this. Joe, take your time. You've always wanted to own a surf shop. The new generation needs someone they can look up to. There's no one better than you. This is your chance. Fade away to Art talking on the phone. Dissolve 2. Exterior, Cliff Point, day. Aiko is sitting on the cliff, sanding the fins of another surfboard. Art walks up to her. Art, nice day out here. Art sits down next to Aiko and looks out to the ocean. Aiko quits sanding for a moment and looks to the horizon. Aiko, yeah, It sure is. Aiko pauses for a second and starts sanding again. Art picks up a blade of grass and sticks it in his mouth. He picks a few more blades of grass and starts silently ripping them into pieces as he looks out to the horizon. Aiko notices a bit of uneasiness in Art's mannerisms. Aiko, what's the matter? You haven't been yourself lately. Art, oh, it's just that I got this phone call the other day and I'm really confused. Aiko, confused about what? Art, remember Joe, the person I always talk about? Aiko, yeah? Art, he wants me to take over the surf shop, and I've got mixed emotions about the whole thing. It's taken me years to be finally accepted on the island. People have just now quit asking me the question. So Art, when are you leaving? I feel like if I just get up and move now, I've betrayed everyone here. Plus, I really love the island. This place is beautiful and the waves are insane. On the other hand, the primary reason I came here was to find my limitations in the water. I felt like I've accomplished that goal. I'm not saying I've mastered big wave surfing. No one can master it, but I have found my limitations. Maybe it's time to move on and give something back to surfing. Move to a place where I can have a positive impact on younger surfers. Art picks up more blades of grass. He unconsciously begins tearing them as he looks out to the ocean. Art, having my own surf shop puts me closer to the edge of leaving and starting a new chapter in life. I just don't know. What do you think I should do? Aiko, all I can say is the choice has to come from within. But whatever the outcome, make it a choice you'll never regret, because the decisions you've made in the past can never be reversed. Art, if I decide to leave, I don't want people here to think I'm a quitter, especially you. I don't want to let you down. Aiko, you're the last person I would think of as a quitter. Aiko looks at Art and smiles, then shifts her attention back to sanding the fins on the surfboard. Cut 2. Interior, Art's bedroom, day. Leaning on top of Art's dresser is the wax figurine that Art and Via made as kids, the miniature wave house, and a colored sketch that Ledge gave him of all his friends back home. He picks up the sketch, looks at it, and smiles. Chapter 22. Homecoming. Exterior, shed, day. Art walks up to a dilapidated shed that has vines and unkept bushes growing all around it. He rips away some of the vines and the brush to open the door to the shed. Art enters the shed. There's about 10 dusty surfboards stacked vertically against each other in bookend fashion. He starts feeling the outside rails of the surfboards and is in quiet reflection. His hand touches a surfboard with a light blue rail. He slowly pulls the surfboard out and wipes the dust off the board, revealing that this is the first surfboard he bought back when he was 10 years old. It's the light blue single-fin surfboard with the large airbrushed wave on the deck. Art pauses as he fondly thinks about his childhood memories. Exterior, beach, day. Art is standing on the sand dunes. Under his arm is the light blue single-fin surfboard with the wave airbrushed on the deck. He stands there looking at the waves breaking. In the foreground is the picnic table with a new generation of grommets hanging out. The grommets' ages range from 10 to 12 years old. Art is reflecting on all the memories of the place where he grew up surfing. He looks around, smiles, and heads to the water. As Art walks past the picnic table, one of the younger Groms starts to crack on him. Grommet number 4. Where did this guy come from? The Stone Ages? The group of Groms laugh. Grommet number 4. That single fin's the kind of board that my great-grandfather used to ride. The Groms laugh again. Art turns around and makes eye contact with the Grommet who is making the wisecracks. Art smiles at him, turns back around, and heads for the water. Exterior, lineup, day. A head-high swell approaches. Art spins around and takes off. He trims down the line with all the mastery and style of surfing a single fin. He does a roller coaster up and down the face, then shifts his feet to the center of the board, at which time the wave jacks up and pitches out. Art tucks into the barrel and gets tubed. He pops out of the tube, kicks out of the wave, and paddles back out. Art is sitting at the lineup taking in the scenery. Via paddles up next to him and sits on her board. Via, hey, Art! Long time no see. Art, I never thought you'd be here. Via, we've got a 3-week gap between contests, and I thought I'd come visit the old stomping grounds. Art, how's the tour going? Via, it's going great. The new guard has given me some stiff competition, but I'm still hanging tough. Via, at peace with herself, smiles at Art. Via, but I think my days of being a professional surfer are slowly coming to an end. Art, you've had a great run. I'm so proud of you. We are all proud of you. Art hugs Via while sitting on the surfboard. Via does the same thing. Via, what are you doing on that old single fin? Art, this was my first surfboard. It needed dusting, so I thought I'd take it out for a spin. Via, I remember that board. I wish I still had my first board. It was an old, beat-up, 6-foot G&S, triple stringer, single fin. Art, that's right, the yellow banana. Art and Via chuckle while reminiscing about their old surfboards. Via, Joe told me the news about Bajan's surfboards. It can't be in better hands. Art, thanks. If you ever need to sponge a couple of bars of wax, you know where to go. Art sees a wave approaching, spins around, and catches the wave. He drops in and looks back at Via and hoots. Via laughs, smiles, and drops in on the next wave. Dissolve 2. Exterior, Bajan surfboards, day. Art has a light blue surfboard under his arm along with a large, wrinkled paper bag. He unlocks the front door of Bajan's surf shop, walks in, and heads to the back of the store where all the surfboards are located. Above the office door is a shiny new surfboard hanging on the wall. He takes down the shiny surfboard and replaces it with his old, light blue surfboard with the airbrush wave on the deck. He takes the objects out of the paper bag, which is the colored sketch Ledge gave him, the wax figurines, the wave house, and a picture of Aiko sitting on the cliff sanding a fin on a surfboard. He hangs the sketch and pictures next to the old newspaper clippings of Joe when he was the surf champion of Barbados, and places the wax figurines and wave house on a shelf next to the pictures. He takes a few steps back and looks at the wall. Art walks to the front of the store to the door. He pauses for a moment, turns around, looks at the surf shop, turns back around to the door, and flips the sign from closed to open. As Art walks away from the door, he notices some people entering. It's Joe, Via, Ledge, Devo, and Tuna. Everyone has large smiles on their faces. They all look at each other and come together in a joyous group hug. Dissolve 2. "10 years later." Exterior beach, morning, 10 years later. 7-year-old twins, one boy and one girl, are near the shoreline. They are playing and building a sandcastle. The camera pans out to reveal 3 sets of people in the shot. 1. There's a person with a surfboard coming out of the ocean. 2. The twins building their sandcastle. And 3. The back of a beach chair with a person sitting in it next to the twins. The person sitting in the beach chair cannot be determined from this camera angle. All you see is the back of the head and a straw hat. The person coming out of the water with the surfboard is Art. He is older and has a beard. Art smiles and winks at the twins. He then turns his attention to the person in the beach chair. "Art, it's your turn." The person gets up out of the beach chair with her back to the camera and picks up a surfboard. With the surfboard under her arm, she walks over and kisses Art. Art walks over to the twins. A close-up of the twins who have stopped building their sandcastle look up with awe at Art. Art looks at the twins with love in his eyes and pauses. He looks out to the ocean's horizon and pauses. Art remembers the day on the beach when he was 10 years old building a sandcastle and encountering the surfer. The day that he knew he wanted to become a surfer. He looks at the twins. "Art, do you want to go surfing with your mom and dad?" The twins' eyes light up with excitement and eager anticipation. Art smiles and looks at the mom holding the surfboard. "Art, what do you say?" The mom walks over to the twins. A close-up of the twins are looking up at her with awe. The camera pans out to reveal an older yet eloquent and refined Via. Via blissfully smiles at Art and the twins. "Via, let's go surfing." Cut 2. With their backs facing the camera, Via, Art, and the twins are all holding hands, walking into the water for their first surf session together as a family. Fade out. The end of The Bond Between Surfers. This is Mark, the author of The Bond Between Surfers. I hope you enjoyed the story. Now it's time to make it into a feature-length film. I envision surfers being involved throughout the entire project, from producing, directing, acting, filming, location scouting, marketing, crew, etc. What I need from you now is to get the book on the bestseller list so we can make it into a movie. Help me spread the word to all 25 million surfers and friends of surfers in the world. All proceeds will go to funding the film. Then one day, you'll be sitting in the movie theater, looking up at the big screen, and you can proudly say, I bought the book and made this movie. For more info, check out my website, tbbsurf.com. Thanks for your support.